Yes, I do. Right, we'll soon see. Hopefully.
Make sure that OBS isn't dropping.
I will do.
Magical live!
The event is starting. View on watch page.
Event is starting. It should have started.
Move that. We'll
That's
see.
not muted, is it?
Yes, I've muted it there.
Okay, I'm too blind to
Let's
be
have
able
a
to.
look. Oh, yeah, there we are.
Woo!
Right,
Just remember,
let's
check OBS for drop frames, just in case. Because we have this random thing with our internet connection here.
Yeah, well, OBS looks fine there. It's looking reasonably good there. Shall we do it? We're going to just do a little audio check. There we go.
That'll do.
That'll do. Good evening, everybody on the SuffolkRam.
I'm Skazz. And Middlemeister's gone to the pub.
Middlemeister isn't with us today because he was tired.
Boo.
Bless.
Bless him.
Bless. I mean, he's got work tomorrow.
Oh.
You've got children.
I know. And, spoiler alert. You know, not the last podcast, but the podcast before that, there was like a 5-6 hour stream due afterwards because of a splat. It's running tonight.
It's another splatfest.
Yeah, I'm not going to be sleeping.
Right, so we have another splatfest. Alright, so before we start then, what are the choices?
Right, the choices for this coming Splatfest for September is superpowers. Do you go for the power of flight or the power of invisibility?
Right, it depends. If I go for power of flight, do I have the necessary licenses to allow me to go through relevant airspaces? Okay.
Nope.
Is the invisibility always on, or can I turn it on and off at will?
We'll say on and off at will.
Oh, that's a tough choice. I mean, flight probably more practical because you know the morning commute can be a bit of a pain through the traffic. Whereas if I could to fly,
Sure.
I mean, I suppose I'd be classed as a light aircraft. Well, in my case, possibly a heavy aircraft. Oh, that's a tough one. You see, invisibility sounds really neat, but actually, when you think about the practical uses, there aren't that many practical uses of visibility apart from, like, you know, being a pervert. So I'm going to have to go on the side of flight in this matter.
Oh, okay. Well, I've given this some thought, and I'm going team invisibility.
Reasons?
Reasons: I'm an antisocial prick, and even if I have to fly, I still have to deal with people at some point. If I'm invisible, you
Look,
don't
it's
see me.
Super Skazz! Piss
like,
off!
That's it. Just like unzip pee on someone from a great height. Screw you! Get to work! No, well, I thought about it.
Can you imagine? Phil just going to walking around, just going to think, oh no, I'm pooed on by a superhero again.
No, man, just knock them
Oh,
out.
God.
Dropping a deuce from 600 feet, just down and come. But it's like, no, I thought about it, and it's like, well, there are other things with flight, like, as you say, where can I actually go? How fast can I actually fly? You know, because
If you're the speed of like a World War I biplane.
I need to be able to kind of breathe. How
It could get quite nippy.
Yeah, there are so many different factors in place, and I just kept thinking to myself, no matter what I do, as neat as it would be to be able to see all of these places, it's going to take me a long ass time to get there, because I'm probably not going to be able to fly that fast, and I am still going to have to deal with people to a degree.
Yeah.
However, if I go team invisibility, because I'm an antisocial bastard, whilst I can't go that far, I can go where the fuck ever I want.
That's true, but you might get run over several times, barged into yourself times, people can't see you.
Well, that's fair, because then that's where you just kind of flip that shit on. I don't mind shoulder surfing and tailgating. So, so in social engineering circles,
You're
that's...
just going to randomly jump. You're just going to. I just the idea of you just randomly sort of jumping, pulling you piggyback without realising.
Well,
What the fuck is on my back? I can't see anything.
Oh, well, it's getting really heavy. My back's acting up again. No, it isn't, dickhead. No, but I just thought to myself, with invisibility, there are more places that I can go that maybe I shouldn't. Like, you know, have you ever wondered...
I said, went to the pervert territory
Have
now.
you ever wondered what's going on in those labs
In the women's
Google?
locker room?
Oh, no, I know what's going on in there. That's a... Been there.
I think if you went to Labs at Google, you just find like any other IT, just a lot of people sat down there, binge watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty
much. Playing like Dota or play on Battlegrounds or Destiny.
Oh yeah, but at
2,
least in that way I'd know.
It's like,
I know the
secrets.
power of flight isn't going to let me see that, is it? Unless I start peering in through the window,
But-
and then that
but-
does hit perfect
That's
territory.
true. But the power of flight, I could freak birds out like mad. I could run past and say, "You thought you could escape me?" Ha ha. The pigeons. Oh mate, I could really mess with racing pigeons.
Well, what would they need? What would they need? That fucking there's that falconer in there in the town centre who's supposed to get rid of the seagulls. Nah, mate, we'll just hire Nick. Get in there, son.
Shall I tell you something? Where I work, we had a seagull. We had a gull problem. To use a correct term, you can't. The seagulls was wrong. Gull problem on our roof of our building, right? So they got a falconer in. He got his falcon. He sent his falcon up there. The falcon flew up there, took one look at the old gulls, and went, "I'm not bothering. I've solved that. Yeah, just flew back into them." And I said, "Sometimes that happens. They get freaked out and won't do it."
And you think to yourself, "What fucking good job, you mate."
Yeah. Talking of this random thing, you mentioned we're talking about piggybacking on people. I actually got took for a piggyback by a pig the other day. I was in.
So it's not like your World of Warcraft dream then.
No, it wasn't. This definitely wasn't a dream. This
Your
is more
battle
of a,
ram.
this is more of a. I'm getting there. I'm trying to find a ram big enough to support my weight. I was in. Hi,
It's Jet.
Jet. Hello, Jet. I was in the pen, the yard. I just fed, and there's a boar, and he's huge. He's probably about 6 foot long and probably about sort of 2 foot wide. He's a big lad. In all departments, I can assure you. And
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you were walking with a limp today?
I actually haven't actually been walking with a limp today, but not for any perverted reasons.
That's what he's telling you.
And
I'm there for you.
And I was all standing just like as you stand normally, with your legs apart a little bit, as you would normally, as normal human does, or at least a male human does. And another pig must have bit his tail or something, because he suddenly just squealed and started charging. But he started trying to
So you decided to go
No, he tried to squeeze through I didn't realise what he was doing. He tried to squeeze through the gap between my legs, but he wasn't. He was bigger than the gap. So he squeezed through the gap.
So up you went.
Up I went, and I ended up on it. Well, basically, I saw sort of.
You were facing backwards.
No, he sort of went through forwards. And so I just sort of slide backwards and forwards onto his back, and then he's now freaking out because there's this massive weight on his back, and you think, what the hell's going on? And he just starts running down to the other end of the yard, and I'm just sort of holding on for dear life, sort of like avoiding pillars, and eventually he does a tight turn, and I fall off.
I just had this vision of like the old cartoons where you're on the animal's running one way, you're facing the other way, and it's like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, what's that? But yeah, I got to for a piggyback by a pig. Anyway, it's very important we've got something to do today before we start. It's quite important. Now, there's a reason why I only bought 2 cakes, so I guess Middlemice wouldn't be joining us. And yeah, normally I get a cake in, but it's actually our birthday.
Way! Is it literally the actual day?
Within about 3 days. It was I think our first episode went up the 29th of August, 2013, I think it went up. It was end of August. So it's our 4th birthday, so happy birthday.
Thanks, mate.
So for the audio viewers, I've given Skazz a piece of steak with some peppercorn sauce on it in a cupcake case. For the video listeners, there we go. No, we need to toast them, don't we? Ready?
Yeah.
Clink. So I'm going to enjoy this before we start. You can now. I hope you all bought your own little.
Remember the time when we had the cake for the 3-year one? This is like, the next 10 minutes is just us like eating cake.
No, that was the year before. My sister made that really massive cake.
Oh, was it?
Last year was manageable. The year before was humongous. None of us could quite manage. Right, man.
2 years of pooing.
Glad you enjoy riding. I always enjoy riding my pigs. It's great fun. They enjoy it too. It's no harm, no foul.
This is going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can store it in my beard for the splatfest.
Yeah. So make sure, I hope at home you've remembered this and you've got your own cake and you're eating along with us.
If you haven't, that's sacrilege when I take over the planet. Sacrilege?
Of course, I can edit this out of the audio version. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Right,
This should be one of them was it ASMR videos where it's like sat there slowly eating cake quietly and relaxingly. And everyone's just like, oh, they just sleep.
God, I think if anyone watched me eat, they wouldn't be finding it relaxing.
Well, I'm shaving 2 sides of this in my moustache apparently, so
Not for later.
yeah. That is the whole point of a beard.
I wondered why you had some Chinese in there and
That's it. There's Chinese.
some mealworms in there for some reason.
Wow.
Have you been raiding the gardens again?
Ha ha ha. What do I have for tea today? Roast dinner and cake. Good times.
Yeah.
It's good to be me. It's good to be a fat bastard.
Well, apparently you've got complaints. They didn't know they should have brought cake.
Oh.
It's your own fault. You shouldn't know it was our birthday. Where's our present?
Yeah, sure.
Where's our card?
Why isn't it on the calendar?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a national holiday.
This may be a national celebration. Right, you better have beer, because we have beer.
Oh, this is Jet. He's always got beer.
Excellent. You can have a drink with
Well,
us.
he's probably
then.
got mead. Jet, if you ain't got mead,
Do you know what? I've always wanted to try mead, but I've never actually have.
Jet.
Jack, recommend me a good mead to try as a beginner mead drinker.
All of it. The bottle. Doesn't matter what it is, just drink it.
Right. That's part one of the celebration.
Yeah.
Part two.
Part 2, alcohol.
Think.
Yeah. What we got here? We've got. Cheers. Cheers to myself.
Yeah. Carling in pint cans.
God, blimey, yeah. I was going to say these look a bit different.
I got beer. I thought it was going to start into a song then. It's I've got beer, I've got mead. I was going to turn to Lord's for hip hop song. I've got beer, I've got mead. I'm getting drunk down
That's
on my
ridiculous.
knees. Look at that.
Ridiculous.
Clink.
Right, well, this is going to be good.
Oh, good, that didn't go anywhere.
Well, if it dies, that's alright. I'll save it in my beard for later.
It's fine. Can we just use your beer to mop it all up with?
Yeah, just like.
Oh, okay. Spot.
Let's have a look. We haven't had lager in ages, have we?
We had about 3 weeks ago. About 3 podcasts ago.
You sure?
Right, we had Strombo. We then had Carling cider. That's what I think of. Carling cider we had.
Yeah.
We had Magnus.
Yeah.
And I think we had normal Carling before that. So 4
Did
pints.
we?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Actually, I think last podcast I forgot to bring anything alcohol. It's probably like 5 podcasts ago. Do you know what? We haven't done pub recently either.
We haven't. We must.
We must do pub. We need to meet and do pub again.
That's been a while.
Right, I hope you've enjoyed the first 15 minutes of this podcast where we've managed to discuss nothing but cake, riding pigs. That's one for the outtakes. yeah, being alcoholics.
I love some of those outtakes, though. That random snippet of the podcast that gets slapped in at the start.
Yeah.
Them were the days.
Yeah.
Them were the days. Because for some reason I went back in time to the times when we were in the bungalow. Like me, you and Bad, we trying to say the most.
It's amazing.
Are we still going for that award where I don't say words like retarded or queer?
Well, mate, you've lost that ages ago. Well, you've lost it just now by doing that.
I know.
So yeah, it's like we're going for that award where I don't offend any of those fuckers out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's automatically lost. Yeah. So.
Well, I have to ask, just in case. You can edit out of the audio. No one will know. Don't say a thing. Yeah, if we're not going for that award, then.
What's the point?
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. Fuck them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There you go, listeners. Fuck you.
That was it. When we were trying to say the most retarded things possible, but because we're not going for the
we ain't got Bard with us anymore, so that's not possible.
I know, but I'm trying to channel the evil, but I can't remember where it used to sit.
Here.
Oh well, here we go. Let's just.
No, actually, I used to sit in the middle, didn't I? When Bard was here, I'm sure.
Who knows?
I have to go back and look, but I'm sure. No, towards the end, I think I sat in the middle once or twice. I think towards the end, Bard, because I want to be obviously centre stage, because obviously the most important person in the group.
Of course.
Look,
I'm going to let you have that because I don't record it or edit it anymore, so I'm just here for
the fun.
I'm just here because I live here.
Yeah,
I'm just the tramp that you've set up next.
To be honest, I'll just turn up at your house every fortnight. You ain't got a lot of choice but to let me in.
Like the times when you and Bad used to walk in. Has he been murdered because he didn't answer the door?
Oh, that was the word. Yeah, it was a we come round one night to do a podcast, and people may not have missed this 3 months. This about just over a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
we come in to do podcasts. We knock on the door, no answer. We knock on the door again. It's me and him. We sort of look at each other, and we sort of like try the door, and it opens, sort of slowly creeps open. We sort of say, Skazz. Oh, there, and we're sort of looking around. There's no sign of life. Well, why is the door unlocked? And it's like at this point we think we're going to find your dead body. We're pretty much convinced that we're going to find a dead body. So we start heading in, And we get as far as the kitchen. I'm still saying Skazz. And I Skazz. I just look behind me and say, no sign of him. Bard's still outside. He waits. He thought, well, there's a murder now. I'll let him take out stuff. I'll let him take out Ram instead.
Well, let's be fair though, mate. Think about it. Murder. Me. Who would be crazy enough to break into my house?
That was like at the scene at the Fast Show. You know, it goes, yes, it's me in like sort of like some sixth form girls' school. What were they thinking? You remember that script? That scene? I think me murdered. What were they thinking? We could do a sketch show now.
Mm-hmm. We
should.
We're
Awesome.
We've been around long enough.
Around next half hour. Yeah. You know, they were saying there's a lack of comedy duos out there. We might be able to manage comedy 1.5.
I was going to say we are easily the greatest joke of the last how many years now? 4?
Yeah, I think we've long established people don't laugh with us.
Oh, they're definitely laughing at us. But
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's a service we provide.
Yeah.
I don't think, Dave,
We brighten people's days by being retarded.
I don't think, Dave, if we make people happy, we're happy, even if it is both through the stupidest of reasons. Right. Anyway, on that note, shall we make a start?
Yes.
Yeah. So, welcome to episode 71 of the Rand Nerds podcast with me, TheSuffolkRam.
And Skazz.
I just want to do that in case I can now chop that whole bit.
Just cut the
I can
entire
cut all
bit.
that shit out now. We can ignore that bit there.
Never happened.
Yeah.
What
So-
never happened? You don't need. But you can't because you'll cut out the birthday wishes unless you're going to cut that in and move it forward.
Oh, I can cut around that.
Yeah.
I can cut around that. I can just say, happy birthday, put that much at the front.
The
and be
magic of editing.
done. Yes, indeed.
So all the poor people here suffering, all jet of them.
Yeah. He'll know the truth. He can start the room and say, do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's actually a secret 20 minutes of that podcast they don't want you to know about, but I know. We'll
It's
deny
on
it.
the front page,
It becomes a I need to say constipation theory, but
Ooh.
no, it becomes a conspiracy theory.
So we're already full of shit then, eh?
Don't say things like that when I've got a mouthful of beer or lager. You know how it was to prevent that spitting out? I was about to choke.
Spits or swallows. Ram spits. Because he's full of
After I mind the pigs, I spit a bit.
Well.
Yeah, not the taking, you know. Anyway.
Burns.
Got your back. Awesome. Anyway, so games we've been playing. See, this middle mouse, you're missing out on all this fun. I've been playing a game called Offworld Trading Company. It was a Humble Bundle game. I'm really liking the Humble Bundle.
Was it the monthly bundle?
Yeah.
The last one?
Yes, you'll have it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I tell you what, one thing I really like about Humble Monthly Bundles, I'm always getting games in it which I would never have bought. I probably would never have bought this game, but I've played it and this month I've got Maze, which I played and really enjoyed. It was short. I quite enjoyed it, but I never would have bought Maze.
You've never really looked for it.
It came off my queue, I think, but I would have gone, yeah, probably not for me.
Yeah.
But because I got free, I bought it and played it. Played it, and same as Offworld Trading Company, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but played it. But so. It's a strategy game, but
Right.
without combat in it, really. It's got a sort of semi-combat in it, but it's not proper combat in it.
Okay.
So it's set in the future. The idea is that Earth is... Oh, we've got another player here. Jet's got the game. Good. And it's set in the future where basically Earth's resources are starting to get depleted, so people start moving off-world.
Like now, just without the Offworld.
Yeah, but these are properly depleted, yeah. And it's set on Mars. There's an expansion that there's a bit of place on Io around Mars, but the main game's set on Mars.
Sure.
And the idea is you are one of a set of corporations who go up there, and your job is basically to gather resources, make things, sell them, and you're competing not in the sense of who can get the most and sort of overrun the enemy with like units, but who can make the most money and buy out their opponents.
Alright.
So by default, if you play a default sort of skirmish game, you he gets Jet gets Humble Monthly as well, which is why he's got it. If you do the skirmish game, by default you've got 4 other opponents. There's 4 people in the game.
Sure.
So that's 4 people competing with. You're trying to gather resources, and you basically we'll get into it. So resource wise, how does it work? You are given a set of what they call claims. So you're allowed to. So interestingly, you can't just like build constantly. It's not a case if you've got money,
So
you
it's
can
not
build.
the Command and Conquer style.
No.
Right.
So you've got a number of claims that you can use to buy. You can either buy a resource, like build someone a resource.
Right.
And this interesting thing about it is you can basically see the entire map pretty much, and you can build on any resource you can see.
Okay.
Initially, when the game first starts, they get locked down by other players for like 60 seconds. So you can't build like next to another player's base. But after the time's up, you can like put a mine next to someone else's base. It doesn't care. You
Sure.
can do it. The penalties come in the form of the further you have to travel, you get like
Supply lines.
Yeah, supply line penalties and so forth.
Okay.
But if there's like a really good resource, like the basic resource represents these little blocks, so there might be like little cubes, for example. Like a single cube might be quite a low resource, and 3 cubes is a high resource.
Yeah.
So yes, it may be far away, but it's worth it because it's
sure.
such a high resource. But you're given a number of claims. So depending on the claims vary by difficulty and by who uses your players. But if you play quite low, because it's quite tricky. I mean, I played on medium default. And I was getting mullered every single time. Literally, the AI was literally by the time.
Pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, by the time I had level 2, basically I would be on level 5, and that's top level. That was literally so I sort of dialed it back down to the lower levels and then gradually sort of practicing more.
Worked your way up,
yeah.
sure.
So I think I sort of worked my way up because I probably went in too deep too soon. And the AI. And yeah, so low level, if you start right at the base, you get 5 claims initially in your starting base. So basically, it's 5 tiles you can build, and that's it until you upgrade your base. So you obviously, so you've got resources like, so obviously your base will be consuming things like oxygen, food, water, because it's got to survive.
Yeah.
So you need to be gathering those. But the interesting thing is where it works is if you run out, you don't like die or suffer any consequences. What you do is you buy it from the open market instead.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So it's like your left hand side of the screen took up by what like basically a stock market. So you have like how much you're producing, positive or negative. You then have like how much you actually have like in reserve in stock. Then you have like the current price, which fluctuates as the game goes on. So as more people buy stuff, the price goes up.
Sure.
And as people sell stuff, it goes down, so it fluctuates dynamically. And that's based on the other AI as well. So what other players are doing will alter the price dynamically.
Sure.
So, and you have basically, you get into debt. You have like a little debt thing. So if, for example, you can't afford oxygen, you'll just start buying it.
Yeah.
And that constantly puts you in debt.
Yes, that's
puts you in debt. Yeah, but you can't die in it as a way. You can't like, I have no oxygen.
Death is basically running out of money.
No, even than that, because you just get like a debt build up. The only way you can die in the game is if you get bought out by somebody else.
That's what I mean, is that eventually you get to the point where you're not even viable. You shouldn't.
You get bought out, yeah.
Sure.
So you've constantly got this up now. So you're initially at the start of the game, you'll go, right, okay, I need these resources. Okay, other players have built like, there's people built like, I know these 2 people nearby, because there's 4 different bases you've got on it, which is basically 4 different factions. You've got like, I'm playing what they call the expansionists, who feel, from what I've played, feel quite sort of middle of the road, sort of generic, sort of like beginner army, but they do have their certain tweaks.
Sure.
You have the scavengers, who are more inclined to basically like they use different resources, like more carbon, because they build cheap structures because they are scavengers. They build cheap structures. You have robots, and they obviously are interested in things like aluminium. Later on, they want lots of electronics to upgrade their bases. So different factions need different things to upgrade their bases.
Yeah.
And also there's scientists as well who produce a lot of chemicals to upgrade and build stuff.
Sure.
And each faction has their own little rules, what they can do, how they can do. So, for example, scientists. Whereas, if I want to say make steel, I have to basically get mine iron, then I have to build a steel foundry, which converts the iron into steel.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to do. But a scientist can put the foundry straight on top of the steel and automate it onto the iron and automatically convert it straight away.
Okay, cool.
So they have their advantages, and they can get quite a good start, but they have long-term, they have other disadvantages to balance it out.
Sure.
So you've got this current stock market on. So initially at the start, you may think, okay, so I need these, I'll buy these resources early. And sometimes it can work in your favour. So I'll give you an example. I was gathering water through water pumps, and the price of water dropped quite dramatically because, after a while, everybody's got water pumps going. Then a little bit later on, there was a shortage, and the price skyrocketed because I hadn't been because I had quite a lot of water pumps. I built up a massive reserve. So when I was on like level 2, I was like only a few pounds in the bank, literally pounds. Also, this massive shortage, and I had thousands in the bank in the store stockpiled. I just quickly sold it all as much as I could, as quick as I can. All of a sudden, I had enough money to upgrade my base to 2 levels straight away, like that.
Huh.
So it can work out quite well in your favour, and that actually sort of nearly turned the game around for me. So you're constantly, and as the game progresses, you get higher up. You need to start producing other things. So initially, you can get away with doing war materials. Then later on, you need to produce more specialized materials like electronics, which obviously take on materials. You need to produce, if you want to start like launching stuff into space, you need to start producing fuel to be able to launch it. You need to be able to produce silicone. You need to produce glass to upgrade your buildings.
Yeah.
So the sort of the economy changes as the game goes on. You can't stick with one section. You need to sort of have an end game of what you're going to produce.
Yeah.
And the trick is to focus on one thing. I mean, either glass or electronics. From what I've played, they seem to be the best two to try and focus on. Because when you build buildings, if you build buildings next to each other, they get a bonus.
Right.
So 2 next to each other get 50% extra bonus. 3 next to each other get 75% bonus. So it makes sense to do that. You can also build over time. Apart from, so you've got resource gathering units. You've got buildings that process resources to other things. There's also, each faction has a number of their own special buildings. You have an optimization center, which you use to, basically you can increase production of all your stuff.
Sure.
And that costs chemicals. So chemicals come ported later on.
Okay.
You have a patents one where you can get patents on things, and basically it's an upgrade that only you get.
Okay.
You can have a hacker net, and you can basically cause shortages in the.
Oh, sure.
You can basically decimation cause a shortage, or for example, you know your opponent's got lots of stockpile of one resource. You can basically fake a surplus, so you can crash the price.
Oh, cool.
You can build a pleasure dome, which just gets you money from people coming to the pleasure dome, and you can build a off-world market, which basically is a rocket, and you launch your resources back to Earth, and you make money that way, which works quite well. So that's your sort of economy side of it. How do you win the game? So when you start, at the top of the screen will be everybody on there, and every company's got a share price.
Okay.
And you buy shares in blocks of 1,000. And there's 10 in total for the whole company. It's 10 blocks of 1,000, so 10,000 shares. But effectively, it's 10 shares because you can only buy in blocks of 1,000. So you can buy shares in yourself, which is good because if you get like halfway, you've avoided a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
You can't be hostile. The people have to buy you out completely.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, potentially someone could buy 6 of your shares and basically own your company at that point and kick you out of the game.
All right. Okay.
So. But you can only buy, I think you can buy more than that, but generally if you get half, you're safe for the most part, because people can't buy you out at that point. There's no point buying more. You can buy shares in other people, and the share price is based on how much you're producing and so forth. So as you produce more, your share price will go up.
Yeah.
But the only way to knock somebody out is to buy the company out, which means you have to buy basically you have to buy the shares at a premium. So you have to buy 5 lots of shares, or 5 lots of 1,000 shares, but let's just call them 5 shares, at double the price.
Right.
And that's the only way you can buy a company out. And to win, you have to buy all the other companies out.
Right.
So
how long does a game take? So I guess there's it's just that one thing.
Yeah.
There aren't different stages. So how long does it actually take per game?
For me, it takes about half an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
They're not long at all. It's a game you can pick up really quickly. You pick the basics quite quickly. It's getting good at it. It's quite tricky. And basically, if you don't get a good start, you can turn it around. So in my example, the water case, I was able to turn it around a little bit. I still lost.
Sure.
But I was able to suddenly come back.
Yeah.
There is a bit later on, if you're losing, after a while, you'll get little percentage counters next to your opponent, and it'll tell you how much of money they've got enough. When they've got enough, it basically goes from 0 to 100%. Once it gets to 100%, that means they've got enough money to buy you out. Oh. So you can literally sit there, you can watch your opponent's money, you can watch his percentage going up, thinking, he's going to buy me out in a minute. And as soon as it gets 100%, they're now a real threat, because they can just click a button, that's it, you're out the game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really quite cool.
Tension's high.
Yeah. So that's the main way to win. Other things you've got pirates in it. And pirates basically, and it seems to be like you have a black market, and you get a randomised set of things you can buy on the black market. It seems to be about 10 different things that are randomised. You get like 6 of them. So each game's different. You can't guarantee you're going to get the same things. So you might be able to buy, say, for example, what they call a goon squad. And this is basically a squad you can place on one of your buildings. If someone tries to sabotage it, you'll capture whatever they try and do. So, for example, if someone has dynamite and tries to blow one of your buildings up, if they do it against someone that's got a goon squad, you will capture them and you'll get the dynamite, and then you can use that yourself.
Okay.
There's like underground nukes. So if someone's got a big resource, you can basically destroy the resource. You can do things like cause storms. You can, create mutinies, and you can make them switch to your side.
Sure.
So there's quite a lot of things. That's all part of the thing. And the other thing it's got an auction system in it. So every sort of 2 or 3 minutes, an auction will happen. And this could be for a specific tile. And I'll tell you what it is. We'll say, this tile here. The one that's really good is an extra land claim. Because I said you're limited to how many you can have. And an extra land claim is worth quite a lot. And you can bid. And you don't pay out the money you've got. It goes onto your debt. Your debt obviously affects your share price and your overall company. So it goes to, you want to basically, if you want, you could just bid and bid and bid and bid until you pay whatever they want, and it just goes into your debt. So your debt, you can't really, you could win every auction if you really wanted to, but it'll really hit your share price bad if you're not careful.
Sure.
And these auctions, I said, they could be for land, because it goes to be for pirate things. For example, you may get a auction appear for someone's selling some dynamite on the black market in the auction, so you can bid on black dynamite, and you can bid away and win it. And the main part is someone else hasn't got it. Sure. That's obviously a hidden bid. You can't see what people bidding on the sort of black market stuff. You can't see what people, you can't see who's bid. You can see what the current bid is, but you can't see who's bid it.
All right, sure.
Which is quite neat. So, all combined together, I have to say, it's a really fun game. It's made by the lead designer of Civilization 4.
Oh, okay.
I do know his name.
That guy.
I literally saw on the list of it, because I went for the achievement list. There's like 218 achievements in it. It's humongous, yeah. I went through the list, and one of the achievements is playing on the same server as him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I don't know how often he plays a game, but if you play on the same server, you get the achievement. Which annoys me a bit, because I've got no chance of forgetting that.
Yeah, because you don't tend to play online.
And particularly as he's American, the odds of me playing at the same time he'll be playing is very remote.
Probably a couple all nighters.
Yeah, I might have to. Yeah. Just keep doing all night until eventually I get that thing. So I've said it's a really, really fun game. I would definitely recommend picking it up. It's a strategy game, but it's not a stressful strategy game, because you can pause at any time, and you can do things like when you pause it, you can place buildings where you want to go. So if you want to think about it, you can pause and actually think about it, so I'm going to build here, here, and here, and resume game and so forth. Sure.
So you said you recommend people buy it. What platforms is it on?
I think it's only on PC at the moment. I don't know if there's a Linux port or not. Right. I didn't check that. I'd have to look.
Right.
I don't think it's released, because it's a strategy. I don't think it's released on any other platforms.
Right.
Let me get my phone out and I'll quickly check for you.
And a price, please. Because you got it from the bundle, then that's a...
Yeah, that's very true.
That's a who really knows.
Yeah, so load up Steam. Talk amongst yourselves. Store. Explore. No, I don't want search, don't I?
Joys of mobile apps, people.
Yeah.
This is another one of those This is another one of those constipation theories.
Yeah, my constipation theory. It's a really shitty theory, but
more has been cut out, Rand nerds. More shit has been cut out of.
We never cut any shit out of this. We leave it all in. This is the Constipated Podcast. Search bar.
I wonder if there is actually a podcast for that. And every week they discuss.
Probably. What are you doing that
There's
for?
a podcast for everything, mate. He's lost it. Where is it?
Oh, that's why. I broke it.
I broke it.
Because bloody 3G here, that's why. Bloody 3G thing. Stupid thing. We'll get there. Just keep talking amongst yourselves. It's fine. This is top.
I'll check the chat.
You check the chat. This is A-grade material.
Jet says that he's rather shit at the game. That quite surprises me.
Yeah, I must admit it's quite tough. I said I've played that. There's about 12 difficulty levels, and I've played on. I think I started. I think the normal one's what they call employee, and I think I'm down to intern at the moment.
Oh,
there's literally.
So you've had quite a kick in the.
Yeah, right. It's $14.99.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to load up the what do you call it page. Bloody Steam app. Bloody 3G network.
God damn. Vodafone.
This is something we should have checked before we started, really.
Yes.
Don't go yes like that, like you know I should have done that.
Should have done that because you should have known I was going to ask.
Yeah, but I never learned.
No. No one learns. That's why they want the power of flight, so they can get away first. Sing a song, people. Sing a song. Yeah, chat. Chat for the win, Jet. Chat for the win. Keeping the podcast alive.
Thank you, mate.
Are you still searching?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to load up the... Oh, here we go.
Hey! You done it? Don't press the wrong button.
We'll see in a minute.
What's that loaded up as other games?
Here it is, Offworld Trading Company. Right, come on, that's what I want.
I haven't actually claimed any of my games for the last 2 months, I don't
You
think.
need to get on and do it, don't you?
No, I just can't be asked. Oh, crap.
Dear me.
I got really quite tired of Humble.
Oh, that's
Recently.
interesting.
What's that?
Saul and Johnson.
Oh, right, okay. So that's the...
That's the developer. That's interesting. Only 58% positive reviews in the last 30 days. That's interesting. I thought it was quite a good game. It's available on...
Oh, what have we got?
Steam...
I'll be on the system.
Yeah, One Friend Audio owns this game. I wonder who that could be.
There you go. It's Mac and Windows.
Mac and Windows, yeah.
That's crap. I won't be playing that then.
No, you won't. So you won't be able to join us, unfortunately. But yeah, it's about $4.99. I would say.
Be able to crush your souls.
I would say it's worth $14.99.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I've played about 4 hours, and he's drinking Hobgoblin. Cool, good man. I was drinking that.
Which one?
Yeah, I was drinking Hobgoblin on Tuesday.
I still have some Hobgoblin from before we started the podcast.
Yeah, I know. I just see it gradually moving its way around the various properties.
Yeah. I got that as a birthday gift one year and it's still sat there.
Well, I'm sure Hobgoblin doesn't go off.
Wow.
One day you might drink it on your deathbed.
One day. That'll probably be the stuff that puts me on my bed.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So yeah, Offworld Trading, really good game. So yeah, I do recommend it.
I'll keep an eye on it to see if it comes out on Linux, but until then, I can't recommend it.
Yeah, well, I'll recommend it on his behalf.
God damn it.
It's really, no, it's a fun game.
It sounds neat.
It is.
It does sound neat.
It's definitely different. It's a strategy. It's nice to play a strategy game that is just a bit different. So, there is yes, you can like bomb the enemy people if you want, but that's very limited to how often you can do that.
Yeah.
Because basically every time you do it costs more each time. So you can't go mad doing it. Then you may get attacked by that. You may get targeted by, shall we say, enemy pirate things perhaps a dozen times in a game.
Sure. But then a dozen times in half an hour is quite...
That's quite a lot. I mean, it's enough to disrupt you. And if you get, an EMP hit you, fucking hell, that shuts down all the buildings and it hits, everything gets shut down. And that can cripple you. Because say, for example, you've got all your water, but this is downside putting all your buildings next to each other. So you've got your water pumps next to each other, so they're getting lots of extra bonus income. One EMP, lots of your water gone. And also, to buy it off the open market to... Being if the price starts skyrocketing because it's supply and demand, so if you can't supply, the demand goes up, the price goes up. So yeah, it's fun in that respect.
Clever.
Very, very clever. Yeah, every game. Yes, it's trends in the economy as it goes on. But there's one game I played where the price of water skyrocketed. I mean, literally, it was getting like £500 a unit. But then next game I played it never went above like 20.
Sure.
So if you're lucky, you might end up stockpiling the right thing. And I mean, so if you go for glass, electronics, or chemicals, you're onto a winner basically. Because I can pretty much guarantee those will go high value. Mm-hmm. Every game I've played, they've gone high value. So if you concentrate on building one of those three, and literally put lots of buildings into building it, and the more you have, the faster you'll get up. You can make a lot of money very quickly.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely a recommended purchase. Cool. So. Gameplay?
Honestly, nothing really. I've dicked around in Grand Theft Auto 5 over the last few weeks,
Really?
but not really enough to be able to talk about it. What I can say though is, from my limited time of playing it, is I really don't fucking like it.
I knew you wouldn't.
Oh my god. The intro just made me want to fucking cry.
Yeah.
The intro to the main campaign. Okay, fine, sure. But
I think from what I've not played 5, but I think from what I've seen of the characters in 5, they seem a bit caricaturish. That sounds a bit weird for a Grand Theft Auto game, but at least in the previous games, some of the characters have been quite interesting. I always think the character from San Andreas was quite interesting because basically
I wasn't a fan of San Andreas.
No, I must admit, I didn't particularly like San Andreas, but I thought the character was interesting because it's about this guy who basically tried to make better of himself, and he's to come back to his sort of ghetto roots, and basically he's tried to get out of gang life, basically to come back and do it anyway.
Yeah,
I thought it was quite an interesting idea. But my favourite Grand Theft Auto game is Vice City.
Yeah.
I just like the sort
Second favourite?
Ooh.
That's easy for me, but...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a lot of 3. San Andreas, I played quite a lot of, but I wouldn't say I ever really got into it. I mean, Vice City is the only Grand Theft Auto game I've got 100% in.
Oh, okay.
It's the only one I've done it. I mean...
and you played that one late on in its life, didn't you?
I played on the PlayStation 2 when it came out, but couldn't really get on with the controller. But I then got on PC. I got it in those bundle deals where you get all the Grand Theft Autos.
Yeah.
I got on PC, and that's when I really got into it. And I got on PC about 2008.
Oh, wow.
So quite a long time after it came out. But really, really got into it. I mean, literally, it was like as soon as I was literally going home. I was at college at the time, university at the time. It was literally a case of going back to the house at lunchtime to play it.
Vice City was one of the best.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the best. I think because the issue from San Andreas was, in some way, the map was too big.
Okay.
I think because it's some of the things that I really liked about Vice City were gone. So the ability to in Vice City, obviously, you bought the town, didn't you? You basically bought all the businesses and you did 3 missions for them. You didn't do that in San Andreas. That wasn't really an option. That was sort of the interesting part about Vice City, sort of like earning the town basically. That's the interesting part of it. GTA 4, it never quite gelled me. GTA 4 felt very much. I like the character. I like the character. But GTA 4 felt very much a step back. The city felt very sterile. I found I just didn't really. Vice City felt very alive, but GTA 4 felt very sterile. I think some of the city felt less interactive.
Sure.
So what's this? Leroy's, everybody, how are you guys doing? We're doing very well.
That'd be divine.
Yes. So yeah, it did feel a bit of a step back. In GTA 5, I've not played yet. I hear the multiplayer is very good.
That's where I draw my gripe.
Is it?
Yeah. So for me, Grand Theft Auto, I have played. Let me think. All of the Grand Theft Autos.
What, are you away from the really 2D ones?
Oh yeah, that's where I got into it. GTA 1, GTA London, and GTA 2. My favourite Grand Theft Auto is Vice City, but that ties in with London.
Yeah.
That ties first place with Grand Theft Auto London. Love Grand Theft Auto
I
London.
never played London.
I loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it. Brilliant game.
Mainly because Vice City was the first one I actually bought. I bought it for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I never could get hold of a copy of London, and it didn't come out on PC, so I haven't got a PC copy of it either.
Yeah, did it come out on PC?
Did it? I don't.
Yeah, man. Grand Theft
sure?
Auto on PC. That was the platform of
What,
Grand-
London?
Yes, I've got it.
Oh, perhaps I'm mistaken. I thought it didn't come out on PC.
Yeah, I've got the disc.
Although, admittedly, it wasn't on Steam, so therefore, in my mind,
in
my mind, doesn't exist.
If it's not on Steam, it's
It doesn't
not real.
exist. Yeah.
No, I've got the original discs.
How
Like,
weird! They patented everything in it, but London. How weird!
I don't know. It was. I loved London. I absolutely loved London. That was a really, really, really fun game. Really enjoyed that one.
They need to do enough one, don't they? Grand Theft Auto like Yarmouth or something.
Yeah, oh my god, man,
Yeah.
that would make most other Grand Theft Autos look really tame.
Yeah, it's like, wow, can you believe that such a violent place really exists? Yeah, we know, we live down the road
it's like
from
just
it.
down the street, mate.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
No way could this place be real? As you walk through, and it's like worse than Escape from LA and Escape
Yeah.
from New York put together.
Yeah.
Escape from Yarmouth. The
Grand
fucking
Theft Auto.
East
Great
Coast
Yarmouth.
prison. This game's too violent. Ban it, ban it, ban it. That's even before they even release it.
Used to make me laugh. I remember when then, they used to do the comedy covers back in magazines, and the best one I remember they did Grand Theft Auto.
Oh
And it
god.
was just about it was themed around you like sort of being a retirement you living in a retirement home and sort of like go hijacking wheelchairs and
That's actually funny you say that. I saw two dudes do a street race. Probably might have been middle of last year, or that might have even been this year. They went to Yarmouth, and these are pretty big photographers. They used to work overseas. They came over here and for some reason ended
Went
up
to
in
Yarmouth?
Yarmouth. Yeah, for some reason ended up in Yarmouth, and for the part that they were in Yarmouth,
were they illegal? That's the only place you can hide.
They need. I don't even know what they needed to. What they needed. They were just reviewing like an action camera, I think, at this point. And there's these two private photographers, and they go to a mobility scooter shop and rent two mobility scooters and do a Top Gear style street race down the high street of Great Yarmouth on these mobility scooters. Fucking, that was it. I think it might have been the new Sony action camera versus like the GoPro Hero 5, and they were just fucking ripping it down the high street with these action cameras. Oh, it was hilarious. All the things you and look, if people in Yarmouth are like, oh yeah, it's just some fucking news on mobility scooters again. Just let it go. If you were to do that in London, they'd have dived on you.
Yeah, no, I remember there being told it was like a news story once that the latest trend amongst young people were to buy mobility scooters to just sort of get around in, and I thought,
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've heard that. I've never actually. That's the first one actually. I've probably video ever actually some young person on a mobility scooter.
Fucking hilarious,
So it's-
mate. Absolutely hilarious.
Although to be fair, I always thought it was a good idea because it's not a bad idea if you don't want to walk everywhere.
I know people that did it with golf carts.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
reasons. But yeah. So my favourites are Vice City and London.
London?
GTA 1, and that's, by the way, Grand Theft Auto of London is the only thing I like about London. I fucking hate London.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
That's a fucking horrible place.
It's like Yarmouth, but better.
Well, no.
Nothing's worse than Yarmouth, mate. Come
Oh,
on.
you'd be surprised, mate. I could find many
I mean,
reasons.
trust me, Somali pirates go to Yarmouth and think, this is actually quite a nice place.
Then probably Grand Theft Auto 1 or 3. Wasn't a fan of San Andreas. Didn't like 2. 4. 4 was unfortunate enough to go up against Just Cause 2.
Yeah.
Just Cause 2 was the far superior sandbox game, in my opinion, of the time.
That 4 was when it switched from... Sonos did it a little bit, but 4 was when it switched where... 4 went... Basically, the sandboxes game started going two directions. You had the slightly more realistic...
Yeah.
Better driving and so forth, macro driving and so forth, as opposed to more arcade. I must admit, I tend to veer towards the more realistic, which is why I like Watch Dogs. I don't think you did, because I think you're more the arcadey side of what I've dealt with.
Watch Dogs to me was just incredibly boring. There was nothing. It didn't come across to me that Watch Dogs was what they advertised to me. It was literally guy walks around with a smartphone, and now everyone seems to think that you can hack someone by pressing the hack button on your phone.
Yes, key is like the
Yeah.
E key is like.
And it was fucking stupid. It was a horrible game.
Yeah.
Now I might play it again in future and think, okay, it's not that bad. I wouldn't say Watch Dogs is as bad as GTA 4. My wife and her mate really enjoyed GTA 4. I played it for a bit, but they got more of the humour of it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that it was really dry and stale.
My issue with GTA 4 is the sea didn't feel very alive.
And I hated the
Vice
driving.
City felt very... I didn't mind the driving, so I quite liked the sort of more realistic driving.
Mm-hmm.
Vice City just felt more real.
It was more fun.
Yeah, it just felt more like a real place. Whereas
GTA
also, I
4,
tell you what the other thing is, the 80s was okay, not as cool good as the 70s, but 80s was a reasonably cool decade. Because GTA was like sort of late 70s, early 80s, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, I mean, 80s wasn't that great decade. Then San Andreas was saying the 90s. The 90s was a shit decade. You know, realistically, if you look at the 90s, what were the 90s? It's just nothing but crap. You know, the music was crap. You know, it was a really shit decade. I mean, I was annoyed that I was born and had to grow up in that decade because it was fucking awful. You know, 70s was quite cool, 80s quite cool, 90s it just went beige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's actually how I'd like to describe the difference between Vice City and 4. It was like someone took the saturation slider. It was all the way up to Vice City, and then you got to Grand Theft Auto 4, and they decided they were going to bring it down to the floor.
Yeah.
And everything just because gaming went for that transition at that time where everything was chest high brown.
Yeah.
You know, it just didn't really feel like a Grand Theft Auto game.
Vice City felt like I could go anywhere and like go in any building, whereas 4 just felt like I was just driving through a load of boxes.
Sure.
It just wasn't that. Yeah, 4 just never quite grabbed me. I mean, I got as far as Second Island, but didn't quite. Also, I think Vice City had a lot more customization. There was a lot more customization, whereas 4 was just full of a lot more mini games.
Sure.
I know the thing I really disliked about 4 and 3, but 4 especially, was the friend system.
Ugh.
You know,
the one where you had to dial up your mates and do.
But like every day. You know, I had a girlfriend in that game. I think I didn't call her for like 3 days. And I called her, and she sort of like was like, "Oh, I thought you were never going to call me again." I was like, "Well, it's only been like a couple of days."
Oh, mate, you clearly haven't been married before.
No, I haven't. Yeah, married's a bit different, you know. To be fair, but you know, like.
Oh no, it gets easier when you're married.
Yeah.
Because before that, like you expect phone calls every few minutes.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. But it just was like, I just thought I can't be bastard juggle all this thing. So to be honest, I was going. I sort of one of those games where I sort of stopped playing, not because I planned to stop playing it for good, but just never went back to.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was at the stage where I was going to basically, I was actually looking out for a mod to try and like mod the girlfriends in it, so it's like just make them happy all the time, so I don't have to faff around, you know.
I completely forgot about the friend mechanic until you mentioned it.
Fucking shit.
And then there was that dude that kept on. He was juicing, so he was constantly suffering from roid rage.
Yeah, and your brothers keep calling you. He's like, "Oh, let's go do something." It's like, okay,
let's go to the titty bar. That was my wife and her friend's favourite thing.
Oh God.
Being these Russians or whatever they were going to the fucking titty club.
Oh dear.
Not really my kind of group.
yeah. But he's Jet's got it exactly right. Hey, this is your cousin. Want to go bowling? Yeah. It's like, fuck off, cousin.
Yeah, so I've got shit to do.
I've got missions to complete. Piss off.
See, it almost seemed like they were trying to slow you down in GTA 4.
I think they're just trying to make it. I think actually. I tell you what. I think the mistake they made was. I remember when Vice City was coming out and everybody was going mad for Vice City what it's going to be like. You know, it was because it was a system seller, really, wasn't it? Vice City Repeal. It was like a big PlayStation 2 system.
I mean, I already had a PS2.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people would buy a PS2 to get Vice City.
Yeah, sure.
Because relatively, it was quite early on in its cycle. I think was it about within the first year of the PS2 coming out, or at least it was relatively
maybe
early
GTA 3 was, but Vice City wasn't. Not that I remember.
Yeah, Vice City was quite early on. Wasn't GTA 3 was PS1, was it not?
No, GTA 3 is PS2.
Was it PS2?
Yeah.
That shows you how much how good my memory is.
Yeah.
But I remember in the magazine I was reading at the time, I used to get the PS2 magazine, not the official one, the sort of third party one.
Yeah.
And they had a whole section where people were saying what they wanted to be able to do in the new GTA. And it was just this long, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to take them to developers, see what the developers say." And when I was young, I thought, oh yeah, this is going to go. Oh, that's a cool idea. I'll put it in. I thought, and now growing up a bit, I look back and think the developers had already known what was going to be in the game. They weren't going to put all this stuff in because it's like, oh, the game's due out in 6 months. We've already finished it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, but some of the ideas people came up with were crazy. Like someone wanted every building to be fully explorable.
Excessive.
A little bit excessive. And necessary, maybe no.
Yeah,
but
sure.
there was, and I think there's such. I think Feisty had a lot in it. Then I just felt that they had to keep adding stuff to it, and like the friend mechanic wasn't necessary. It wasn't needed.
Nope.
It got on the way, and it's like, I want to create more realistic, more realistic. But it's just that's not a fun part of it. That's not, I mean, well, I don't think we're good friends. But I don't need to be calling you every day and saying if you want to go bowling.
No, for sure, mate.
No, it's like we basically meet up to do this.
Yeah.
A fortnight. But
I'm an antisocial prick.
Yeah.
I don't expect people to call me up very often, and when they
Exactly.
do, well, I told you the other week, didn't I? I actually get angry when my phone rings.
Yeah.
I really dislike it when people try to be social with me, unless it's on my terms. Don't call me.
Yeah.
Those are the rules. Should we move on to why I dislike GTA 5? And
Yes.
I'll be honest, I've barely played a handful of missions in the single player.
Yep.
I played enough for it to allow me to log into the multiplayer mode, because that's what people ask me to do. So years ago, one of my YouTube followers asked me to play Grand Theft Auto 5 because he thought that it would be fucking hilarious to have, rage-filled father gamer play Grand Theft Auto. He said, I'd love it, that'd be absolutely brilliant, that'd be really funny. And I said, well, I'm not really a huge fan of Grand Theft Auto, but if I ever get a chance to grab it on the cheap, why not?
Yeah.
So I picked it up, now I'm full well not really all that interested in it. If Grand Theft Auto 4 was any sign of what they were going to do in 5, wasn't going to be my kind of groove. So I fire up GTA 5, and note that at this point I'm a Linux user, so I had to boot into Windows. Oh, that
must have been painful.
It was painful. See, one of my mates has recently, well, I say recently, over the last 6 months has got into PC gaming. And he said, I've got Grand Theft Auto, I really enjoy it, do you want to play the online mode? I was like, okay, cool. What does that entail? What do I have to do to get there? No one told me that I actually had to start the single player campaign to do that. Okay, so I start the single player campaign, I do the opening heist, which introduces you to a bunch of the characters, and okay, whatever. Didn't like them. Didn't like the heist mechanic. It was just because I had to switch between different characters to move along. Honestly, for me, Grand Theft Auto is one guy doing one thing that you could basically imprint on that one character. Yeah. Okay? Did that. Next mission for me was a driver mission as a different character.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this character had a special focus ability or a focus power that would allow me to slow down time and make him drive better. No. Instantly, I was like, right, you've broken Grand Theft Auto. This isn't fucking. This is stupid. It's not fun. I don't like this character.
The whole point of Grand Theft Auto is meant to be like when you're driving, it's your own reaction times and sort of.
It was absolute ass. Did a few more missions after that, and I said, right, please tell me I can go online. Because this is all people wanted me to do, was play online. And all I wanted to do was play online with my friends, just for a laugh, for an afternoon. So, I'm told that I literally just have to go in and make my character. I click the log on button, go to online. They're added as my friends already, so I should just be able to jump in after doing the character creation. The character creation is absolute fucking dog shit. You have to pick your mother, you have to pick your father, and then somewhere in the middle it kind of makes you a character based on the two characters' faces.
Right, interesting.
And you get to kind of, you've got like blending sliders. So let's say you have a black mum and a white dad. You can then use a blend slider to say, well, are you more similar to your mother or your father? And then that kind of generates your character.
Couldn't they just perhaps decide to pick that anyway and just delete the mother and father bit?
That would have been great. Just let me pick who my character is. Let me make me or something, right? Great. They didn't let me do that, so I suffered through the intro. And then all of a sudden it starts playing a video. It's like, okay, cool. This is all the stuff that you can do in Los Santos or whatever the city is called. You know, fucking, you can go play tennis, you can play golf, you can go fucking rob banks or whatever it is that you can do. And it kind of gives you like a little infomercial as an intro. Then your character steps off the plane and meets up with one of the main game characters, Lamar, who's like, hey man, you've just come into the city, let me introduce you to some people, but first we've got to do some stuff. This goes on and on and on. And the first mission for Lamar is a race. It is a forced race. You don't have to win it.
Is this still the multiplayer we're talking about?
Yes! It is a forced single player. Well, I say single player. There's you and maybe 2 other humans in this race. You don't have to win it. You just have to take part in it. And I was talking to my mates at the same time. All I could hear in the background was them having fun. I'd been doing this for about 25 minutes at this point. And I said, you know what? I've had a fucking enough of this. And I turned it off. I said, I'm fucking sick of this.
Yeah.
I didn't want the game to give me a poxy story. I would have imprinted on these things myself. You should have introduced me to these characters in the video. And then I'd figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
Next day rolls around and I think, no, I think I might have been a bit too harsh. I'll have another go. Big mistake. I jump in. I don't have to do the character creation because thankfully it saved it, but I still have to do the race. Right? The game decided it was going to be a spaz and keep loading as I wasn't actually in the window. So I'd ended up losing this race by default because I started it 3 minutes after it had whatevered. You know? So it doesn't matter because it then moves on to the next tutorial mission. Note that all these people are saying to me on the thing is, yeah, let me take you another 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, and then you can just go to the menu and join us in the game. I'm going to the menu all the time, and the join your friends is greyed out. They can't join me, I can't join them. Okay? What else is there to do in the tutorial? Well, after you do the race, you have to be taught how to rob a shop. To hold up a shop. You don't have to succeed in it, but you still have to do it. Okay, fine. What else is there to do? So
why didn't it teach you all this in a single player game before you went to the multiplayer?
Because I guess they assumed that you might not actually bother playing the single player campaign.
You've got to play a single player before you can do multiplayer.
Yeah, but you don't have to play much of it.
Well, then they should move that stuff to the single player bit.
They should have literally just given it to me as part of the video, or as a quick tutorial. I shouldn't have had to have sit there for more than half an hour before I could have gone online with my mates. Anyway, so I robbed the shop. Done. Next, it's like, okay, steal a car. Right, steal a car and go and take it to the customs shop.
I just been screaming, I just want to play a game with my mates.
Yeah,
that's
what I
want to do.
I was swearing over the microphone to my mates. I was like, this is fucking pointless. And they actually apologised to me because by the end of the night, the previous night at least, I rage quit. I just turned off my PC and went off to do something else. I was that disgusted. I didn't play GTA Online for a story. Nice that they gave me one, but I just wanted to play online with my friends in the city that they built for me.
I think you've got to say, if you're going to go play online, odds are you've probably done most of the bits in it already. And if you haven't, part of the online bit is having fun learning doing it.
Yes. Well,
it's not. It's your mates wouldn't mind if you never driven a car before.
Yeah.
As you got in the car and you kept crashing, they'd be laughing at
you.
For
sure. It'd be a laugh.
It'd be fun.
A laugh. And so I had to steal this car and I had to take it to the custom shop. Gravy. Know that I'm now on a map with other human players. They've got guns. They've got fast cars. They're going to shoot the ever-loving shit out of me because I appear on the map and I've got nothing. I've got no money. I've got no guns. I've literally got a handgun or something to defend myself against people with sniper rifles, rocket launchers, tanks. You name it. It's a bit of a fuck up. So, first off, I find a car and I tried to steal it. Yeah, you can't have this one. And I was like, what? This is a Rockstar Premium car. You have to buy it. Okay, so I can't just steal it and claim it as mine. Nope, you have to buy that one. Okay, now you buy it with in-game currency, and by the way, in-game currency is you just throw it away because it's not worth shit. A smart car is worth like 80 grand.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. Then I find a car and I have to take it to the custom shop. Trying to find the custom shop was a ball ache, but I find it and I get there and I get shot the shit out of because there's someone camping with either a grenade launcher or
And
a
they know
sniper
you've
rifle.
got to go there.
Yeah, so they are just camping there and they rock the shit out of me. I then get another car, go there, try to go in, and it turns out that someone has killed the mechanic at the shop, so it's constantly fucking closed. But it doesn't tell you that it's closed because someone's dead, or that it's locked because it's dead. It just says, yeah, come back later. When? So we assumed it was just because it was getting dark or it was getting late, so the store was closed. It never opened back up again, or at least not at that time when I was playing it. So we had to go and find another one. Right? By this point, I'm fucking raging like mental because I just
want to play along with my mates. All I want to do is play along with my mates. Just let me play my own. I don't want to drive a car into a shop.
Yeah, that was it. And so eventually, I think after about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe a bit longer, I get these shitty missions done and I finally get to play with my mates. What a waste of time.
When you actually got to play with mates, was it fun then?
It was okay, but it wasn't great because I had nothing. They had guns, they had body armor, they had cool cars. I didn't even have a place that I could spawn into because they had apartments or warehouses.
Can they give you money? Because I mean, can they give you?
No.
So they can't help you get set up?
No, you have to do all that yourself in missions. You have to pay for. You can buy a gun, but when I first started in the mission, so I had my gun, I had my handgun. I get into a mission. If I didn't preset it to give me ammo, I didn't have any. So I started the first mission when I got a gun with no bullets. So I was like, oh great. So they had to carry me through the first mission.
I've never played a GTA game which has ever done that. You've always started. If you pick a gun up,
I had a gun, and you couldn't just pick them up off the floor. You had to buy the gun. You had to buy guns. You had to buy bullets. You had to buy body armor, which is all purchased with the in-game cash, which they try and get you to buy shark cards, which are credit cards that you buy with real money. It was fucking stupid. It was a laugh, and I've played it for probably 4 hours with my mates. But I'll be honest with you, I was asked to play it tonight. That's what some of those messages were earlier. And the last 2 times they've asked me to play, I've told them to stuff it up their ass. Yeah. It's okay, but the missions repeat regularly. If you haven't got enough gear, you ain't going to win.
It's almost like they try to, instead of create online mode, create almost like an MMO.
It is Grand Theft Auto, the MMO, and it's
in which case, make an MMO, don't make a multiplayer mod to an existing game.
I cannot keep my cars. Right, if I get a car and I get a tracker on it, an insurance pot on it, at this point I can only have one because I have no house. I have nowhere to store it. So if I steal another car and put a tracker on it, bye-bye car, bye-bye, or at least that's what I understand, I ain't going to be able to afford a place.
What utter bullshit.
So, in my opinion, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a huge steaming pile of shit. I fucking hate it. There's probably only one thing about the single player campaign I like, and it's just not worth playing it.
What? I mean, Grand Theft Auto single player. Within an hour, you have like your own building, you have a couple of cars, you've got a stretching of guns. That's all within the first hour.
Yep.
And it doesn't even achieve that. And the fact that you allow people to basically screw other players over who are trying to get through the mission that they have to do.
Yep.
Could you basically say, let people not.
We thought I'd finished the tutorial at one point. They then started trying to join me or add me into the game, and the game just kept on saying, no, can't do it because they have to finish the tutorial. No, can't do it, got to finish the tutorial.
What's the point of the tutorial? What was that achieve? That's something that you would pick up in game anyway.
Yep.
Previous Grand
Well, once my car got blown up and I didn't claim back on the insurance, I had to just go and steal another car anyway. And most of the missions online, you spawn where you have to be. You don't have to drive anywhere. Or it's a mission where you have to steal a car that's like 3 feet in front of you. So you have to shoot out a few people, steal the car and drive off. I didn't need my personal car to be there.
Oh.
It was fucking stupid.
It sounds like they've... You almost want to find the person who sat down and came up with that idea and say, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What were you drinking, smoking, eating to come up with that idea? Because, you're describing to me and I think that sounds like utter shit.
Yeah. If you can get the game on
That's me.
super cheap, now that I've told you there is a fucking annoying tutorial, and I'm sure most people would get through it in 20 minutes, and that took me longer because of people dicking around by the custom shop and that. If you want to play, we'll try it, but don't expect me to be nice about it whilst I'm playing it. I fucking hate it. It's fine with mates, but other than that, I don't see the point.
So, the online bit, can you, like, have a private server?
Yes, you fucking can, but only after you finish that cunting tutorial. And once, if you don't leave the match with your mates that have made the private game the right way, you get spawned back into the main city.
Oh, quiet now.
Yep. Let's just fucking drop it. So I'm getting angry. That's it. Be right back.
Okay.
Be right back. That's made me so angry I just need to rage piss.
That's a new one. I've heard of rage quitting, but not rage pissing.
I'm so angry. I'm like, ah.
You're not constipated then?
I might be. I might just shit with rage.
I hope you all heard that. It depends how good this mic is, really. So I don't know what I'm going to do now. Any requests? Hopefully he won't be long. Apologies for the dead air. Private server missions. Doesn't have missions. Sounds cool. So does anyone... So obviously you've played the multiplayer. Have you done the heist? Because I hear the heist is really good. So have you actually done any of the heist yet at all? If that's fine, I think it's from GTA 5 does the heist. I might be thinking the one on GTA. I'm sorry about this. I'm not very good doing this live stream stuff by myself. Where is he gone? Yay, he's on his way back. You left me all alone and I didn't know what to say and I was feeling shit and I sat there looking all bored. I didn't know what to say to people and I panicked and I was like, there are people watching me and I don't know what to do.
Right now I need more drink. Fucking crap for daughter.
Cool. Apparently there's a private server mods that don't have missions in them.
Oh, neat.
So that sounds good. It's the best thing to try.
I might have to look into that. Have you got Grand Theft Auto 5 or have you actually
It's
looked
on my
into
wish
it?
list.
Interesting.
But I've never actually sat and
I'd
bought
never
it.
paid
And
full
it's
price
not
for
been cheap enough for me to consider buying it.
And I think we got ours for really cheap actually, like sub 20 I think.
I think for me it'll be about a tenner.
No, you'll never get that. Rockstar are milking that thing for everything it's worth.
Yeah.
With the shark cards and everything. You can tell they're milking the shit out
I
of
have
it.
not bought it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No.
Right. So, moving on. Bit of a TV review, sort of thing. So, I'm about halfway through rewatching. So, last year I watched through Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Really good. My favourite Star Trek series there's been. Then I watched through Star Trek Voyager, which is a series that started off really shit but got quite good towards the end.
Scarlet Quadrant.
Yeah. Yes, Janeway. And I've been watching through, I'm about halfway through season 4 of Star Trek Next Generation, which is the one from the 80s with Patrick Stewart.
Oh, right, yeah.
Board captain.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Picard. And it's been quite a few years since I've watched it. I used to come home and watch it when I was at doing AVC. It used to be on Sky. It used to be on Sky every night at 5 o'clock. So I used to get home just in time to watch the episode on Sky. That used to be my sort of like evening routine, just watch the episode. It was always quite fun. So I just want to sort of say basically it's sort of interesting going back to it after so many years. I mean, it's interesting. Like all Star Treks, the early series are cringeworthy. Star Trek seems to have this thing where the first 2 or 3 series they make really shit. Deep Space Nine was the exception, but Voyager and Next Generation, the first 2 series.
You mean seasons?
Seasons, yeah. Series seasons.
I was just saying, Christ, they actually literally made 2 cringeworthy seasons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. First season was fucking awful. It is absolutely. There's a few good episodes in it, but in general, it's pretty shit. First season. And there's a point you can tell when Gene Roddenberry isn't so involved with it. And there's a point you can really tell when he dies. you can tell because all of a sudden, and this is I'm gonna get crucified for this. The quality of episodes goes up,
right?
Because I actually think Gene Roddenberry was one of the worst things to do with Star Trek. I mean, have you seen the Planets and the Hippie episodes?
No.
Right.
All right. Can I just throw out there? My knowledge of Star Trek is almost that of my knowledge of Doctor Who.
Awesome.
That being ground level.
Series 1, I think about the 3rd or 4th episode in, they go to, I call it the planet of the hippies, although in the original series they actually do go to a planet of hippies.
Okay.
And basically go to this planet that's got these people on it, and they land there, and it's like, oh, we're all happy, lovely people. We love doing things. We love just having sex for fun of it. Oh, we run everywhere because it's more fun than walking.
Right.
You can tell I'm an
I already hate those people.
Yes, I hate them straight away. And this is where it gets really interesting because the way it works, you see, is they have no official laws. But if you break, they have like crime areas, and if you break all that crime areas, the punishment is death regardless.
Oh.
So one of their guys trips over and like breaks a small greenhouse. It's like they're just going to kill him.
Wow.
And it's such a shit episode. It's like it's cringe. It actually feels embarrassing watching it. No, it doesn't. I feel embarrassed watching it. If someone walked in, I'm saying I'm only watching it just so I get the continuity.
So basically, what you're saying is it's almost like someone's walked in to watch you or see you watching.
I would be porn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd be embarrassed if I feel it'd be less embarrassing if someone watching porn. To be honest, I feel it'd be so. It's like yeah, I have 2 tabs open: hardcore pornography 1 and Star Trek Generation. If they walk in, quickly alt tab,
yes,
alt tab. No, yes, okay, I'm watching this. Yeah, no, I'm watching this.
Watching hardcore porn.
I know I've still got my trousers on, but I'm watching this one. Honest.
Totally watching this for the plot because that is garbage.
But then, yeah. The only good thing about 1 is you introduce Rayon Ku, who gets introduced in the first episode, and he's one of the best characters in Trek. He's the guy who's basically fully omnipotent, who can just like do whatever he feels like.
Yeah. I know his character.
Yeah, no character. And then as time goes on, pretty soon you get introduced for the first time to the Borg, to Star Trek, and that was a really good episode when he first introduced them. Although it's funny how they completely sort of retcon how Borg work later on.
Okay.
But I'm up to about episode 4 now, and it's now starting to get good. Because also we've now actually started getting characters being affected by things that have long-term consequences. Because earlier on, there's no long-term consequences to the characters. You know, if something happens, next week they're back to normal, fine. Any lessons learned are forgotten and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
We're at that stage now that doesn't happen. People are actually being affected by what's going on. So Worf, the Klingon guy, he gets almost disowned by his homeworld, but then he all like gets it back by getting involved in a civil war. It's the continuity is starting to be set up, and you can tell it because it's been doing a chap called Ronald D. Moore's been involved with it, and he's interesting because he's one of my. I really sort of got to know him as producer when he was involved with the reimaged Battlestar Galactica, which if you've not watched,
Which I
it's
haven't.
definitely worth a watch. It's a lot as sci-fi series go. It's really good, really well done. It does unfortunately lose it around about they had issue with the writers' strike, basically, and so the last season was very rushed. And yeah, about the last season of it is pretty bad. And there are a couple of duff episodes early on, but in general, it's a really good series.
Sure.
But yeah, it does go a bit weird towards the end. But I think that was a writer's strike situation. Long story short, at the very end, the song. Bear in mind, this is a society that's all like set, nothing to do with Earth. Nothing to do with Earth. But for some reason, they have the song all on the Watchtower. And it's sort of. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But Ronald D. Moore was heavily involved with that, and I found that he was involved with Deep Space Nine quite heavily. That was sort of his baby.
Okay.
And which is why it's probably one of the best Star Treks out there. And he's also quite you can see when he gets more involved with with Next Generation, because it gets a little bit darker, a little bit more edgy, a little bit less hippie, and actually becomes a tolerable series to watch.
Sure.
So I'm glad I'm rewatching it. It's still. I said later on it does hold up. But why I was going to go back to a thought, I'm going to watch this and think, God.
Are you rewatching this on Netflix?
Yes.
That's where the wife watches. Stuff for.
I mean, Star Trek, I thought it would be like me going back to Star Wars, because I stopped watching Star Wars because I watched Star Wars and I'm going to get crucified for this. I liked Star Wars when I was a child, but watching it now I find it very painful.
Yeah.
It's like watching a kids' TV program. It's like some of them hold up quite well, but a lot of
which ones hold up quite fucking well?
Well, I don't know. There must be one or two out there. I'm just saying that as a general statement.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I can't think.
I figured you were, but I didn't think you could answer.
Kids' TV program that are funny to watch in your adult. Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, but you like Clouds.
But Shaun the Sheep's a funny series.
My kids used to watch that.
Well, you should still be watching. It's a good series. What's wrong with you? You're sacrilege. Sacrilege, man.
As far as Star Wars goes, 4, 5, and 6, they're all right. They're not great.
Yeah.
See,
I did never got. People used to say that the fifth one, Empire Strikes Back, was the best of the three. I didn't think that was very good at all. I think opposite. The Empire Strikes is definitely the best of the three, but I don't think it was very good at all. I think they only say it because that's the big plot twist of Oh, and spoiler alert for series that everybody knows. Spoiler 4. Everybody knows this one. But if you don't, sorry. For what's about to happen to you? Sorry. You find that Vader is Luke's father. Ooh, spoiler twist.
Whoopee.
Yeah. I just found. Although apparently it was changed at the last minute.
Right.
Apparently, it was the original one was "I killed your father."
Fair enough.
And they changed to "I am your father" at last minute. Apparently, I don't know if it was
Lucas.
Yeah.
Mental old man.
Yeah, he's mental.
1, 2, and 3. 1, no. 2, I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen 2 to the end. 3, I can remember watching it with Chalky and thought to myself, the best part of that film was when Anakin Skywalker had a hissy fit and had his legs burnt to a crisp. That was the best part of that fucking film.
Parents rented it, and I
the games were okay.
I watched it for 10 minutes, and it was so badly edited. It's like, okay, they're on the ship, and then the door opens, they control us, and the next thing you know, oh look, when this docking bay of the ships, we better sneak on board them. Next thing they're on the planet, like nothing happened. It's like, well, wait. When did they get on the ships? You've cut a whole part of the film.
With some of the earlier ones, like they cut a load of scenes out where Vader is going to his ship and then going somewhere else.
Someone said, "Well, that screwed Star Wars for me." Ha ha.
Yeah, there you go.
Tough.
Tough shit.
Tough shit.
The games of the 3 newer entries into the series, like 1, 2, and 3. The games of those, they're all right.
Yeah.
The actual films though.
My other big issue with the Star Wars thing is that it felt like there might be an in-universe reason for this. So perhaps it's just I didn't watch it, but it felt like when I was watching that the society that they portrayed was more sophisticated than it was in the 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
It felt like that somehow there was a massive downgrade in technology,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't quite make sense. All these battle droids and stuff, and all of a sudden they go into having clone troops. It's like, well, why? What was so? They've battle droids seem far more effective. They have hover tanks. They don't have that later on. They go back to walking tanks. Like, why?
Yeah.
It just felt like it was too advanced, and it felt like a sequel, not a prequel.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the new ones.
7 was basically 4. And we've got, is it Rogue One? Which is...
That's a spin-off. That's not actually part of the main series, is it? It's like a spin-off.
I don't know. I just thought it was the next one after.
No, I think... Right, people help us. I think Rogue One was like a sort of... Not a spin-off, but like a subplot, but not part of the main 9 films.
If that turns out that's the case, I ain't watching it.
But I might be misthinking the wrong thing. But then, because that's set in the past, where it shows how the rebels get the plans for the Death Star. I think maybe I'm not.
After the Death Star's gone.
No, I think it's set. Am I thinking the right film? Sure, Rogue One. There was definitely one film.
It's the newest one.
Oh, it might be for the wrong one then.
Sure.
The one Carrie Fisher's last, the one she did before she died.
Yeah, episode 7, which was basically.
No, there was definitely right.
The one before.
Right. So viewers, help me. I'm sure there was a film because that had the one they did CGI Peter Cushing.
Oh.
I'm sure I'm missing something here. I'm missing one. Rogue One might be the one which
if
is.
I had access to the
8.
internet, I'd look it up.
Yeah. Look, someone will tell us. Someone tell us. Put me out of my misery.
Is Rogue One
8,
canon,
or is it a subplot of one? If it isn't a subplot, which was the one that's a subplot?
Sure.
Please tell me.
Right, let's wait.
Someone will tell us. There's four people watching. One of which is us. There's 3 people watching. One of them must know the answer to this because law of averages. One must be a Star Wars person. Yeah. So no, Star Wars I always found.
That was Rogue One.
Yeah, it was Rogue One.
Rogue
so
One
what was episode 8 then? Rogue One was all they get the steps. So what was episode 8 then? That I'm sure there's an episode.
I don't know. I just call it A New Hope 2.
That's episode 7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just found. I don't know. Star Wars. I've just found very. It's 3.5. Right. I'm confused now. Rogue One is 3.5. I think as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm well confused now. So. Yeah, Star Wars was always. I never got.
They're okay films.
When I was young, I used to like Return of the Jedi. When I was young, but that's because I was young and stupid and like sort of cute things. There was got Ewoks in it, and when you're young, you think the Ewoks are quite cute, and then when you get older, you think they're fucking awful.
Right.
So.
They're all right, but I just I don't think they're as good as people say they are.
No, I don't think they're. I don't think Star Wars is like the greatest. I don't think it's the greatest film ever made.
No, God no.
God, it's. I just don't get Star Wars. I must. I mean, well,
space drama.
Yeah. The only good for Star Wars had Alec Guinness in it. The only real good for Star Wars was when they did the spoof on Dead Ringers. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that one? Where they get the guy dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And puts in the accent and everything, and he goes to a car dealership, and he wants to buy a pod. I said, I require a pod to get a travel pod to get me to Aberdeen. Yeah. Right at the end, Darth Vader comes in. They have a sword. They have a fight with French sticks.
I just want to throw out there that old Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan, the way that he gets wasted in episode 4. Like, literally, I'm just going to fucking hold up my lightsaber and go Good distraction, mate. Good job. There was no point in that being there.
No. It's give time for Luke to strive for.
Fuck that.
And go, no, I barely knew this guy.
Yeah, like, what a horrible, horrible season. One of the best Jedi out there, one of the last Jedi out there, and he gets fucking wiped out within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Pointless. Fucking stupid series. Not an awful series. I've seen worse. But just not as good as people seem to say it is. I think that so many people who say that it's one of the best...
Oh, sorry, no. He's just mentioned something that I just want to rise my memory.
Oh, yeah, that's when they ruined the Force.
Yeah. Didn't we establish that basically the Force is like an STD?
Something to that effect.
I'm sure we established that in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
And then we realised that Obi-Wan had given it to Anakin, which was this slightly disturbing, slightly connotations.
It's it's an okay series, people, but it's not one of the world's greatest. And the only reason you think it is because you're suffering from horrible, horrible levels of nostalgia. You know, if Star Wars is one of the greatest films ever, then Jesus fucking Christ, so is Wayne's World 2.
Yeah. I think what we've got to say about George Lucas, one thing he's good at, well, he was good at when they first came out, was hyping.
Marketing.
And marketing, yes, and marketing.
Jesus Christ.
Because didn't he, I'm sure I read somewhere that he basically negotiated, when he was doing it, he negotiated the rights to have all the profits from all the toys and merchandising, but he would take less from the films, and everybody at the studio thought, he ain't gonna make money off this merchandising stuff, so he said, yeah, it's fine, and they regretted that horrendously.
Oh, yes.
But when I was young, I really liked Star Wars when I was young, and then I sort of grew out of it. And I suppose the same with Star Trek as well. I sort of grew out of Star Trek.
Is there a series of Star Trek that you just can't watch? Season and series. So pick a series. So what is a series you can't watch? Like, do you really hate the Shatner stuff to the point that you can't watch it?
I don't really hate the Shatner stuff. It's just not my favourite. I would watch it, but probably Enterprise. I don't think I could. I've got no interest in watching Enterprise again. None at all. I watched it when it first came out, and I quite enjoyed it. And initially, when I first watched the first season, I quite enjoyed it. But it very quickly... 12 Enterprise is that you got the feeling that all they could do was basically have the same... It felt like they had the same writers from before, and they were stuck with a set of plot lines and were just rehashing plot lines from the previous series. And when you watched it, you knew how every episode was going to end. Because we've had the episodes before, and just the...
If you can call an episode's ending from the opening sequence, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, Enterprise had a lot of trouble. I mean, Enterprise could have been made quite good. The Enterprise thing is, Enterprise did get sort of good. It got to the stage where they had these, had basically the series, I call it the Zindi series. It was a big, series-long storyline. And the idea was that at the very start, this race called the Zindi attacked Earth unprovoked, and
the whole Earth unprovoked.
Yeah, well, they basically go after them into what is basically called the Expanse, and it's basically, and that's where they sort of, that's quite interesting because that's where they start militarising it more. They start taking Marines with them and so forth, and sort of, or Makos, I think they call them, and they go into the Expanse, and it was interesting because it was basically. There's a running theme throughout the whole thing. It was a series where it was quite dark. There was an actual mystery of why did they attack us, what's going on, how can we stop them, why is the Expanse like this? There's a lot of plot lines started up. Even that had quite a few tough episodes later on. But then the season after that was fucking awful. It was basically, that was a really good season. It worked really well. And I thought they've worked out what they need to do now. They need to do big long plot arcs. Works really well. But the season after that, they just went down to doing these 2 3-part episodes, and they were fucking every single one. I stopped watching it. I've very rarely have I stopped watching a series midway through. Normally, I'll carry on to the end.
So skipping outside of Star Trek? So you've managed to you cut Enterprise dead.
I stopped watching it through. Yeah.
Has there been another show? Wait, what has been another show that you've done there? Just so I can get an example of.
Helix was the most recent one.
Right.
That was Ronald D. Moore show. I watched all of 2 episodes. I couldn't watch anymore.
Okay. The fact that you got further in Cowboy Bebop's wow. Okay.
Cowboy Bebop. I was quite enjoying right up until
Radical Ed.
Yeah.
So if I could edit out Radical Ed,
I'll probably finish watching it. I was quite enjoying that until he turned up. So since I've stopped watching your shit. Why is she called Ed?
Oh. Why is my mate Stacey called Stacey?
I don't know. But why is he?
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask him.
Because his mum called him Stacey. I don't fucking know.
Why
is one of my other mates called Kim?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've turned up at the Airport of Enterprise. They tried to try and make it relevant. They tried dragging things in from the earlier series. They tried dragging them to Enterprise. The trouble was, Enterprise took place before them, so basically you're breaking their own canon.
Oh. Okay.
So, for example, they pull the Ferengi turn up in Next Generations the first time they turn up, right? They know about them, but the first time they turn up is Next Generation. No, they put them into Enterprise.
Oh.
Okay, they explain away the Klingons in Enterprise as well. Why the Klingons changed in the original series and later on, they explain them away in Enterprise as well.
Okay,
it's just lots of weird things went on in Enterprise. Other series I stopped midway through. There haven't been many, even bad series. I tend to watch through to the end. I might not watch the next season, but I will watch the current season through to the end.
Last one I can actually remember, and there's probably been others since. Better Call Saul season 2. Never finished it.
Better Call Saul season 2 wasn't great. It was a binge watchable series, and if you're binging it was okay, but it was too slow burning. Season 3 is a lot better. Lot better. Season 3 is really, I would say it's worth picking up and watching season 3.
Okay.
Really worth doing, because it definitely gets a lot better. So yeah, watch season 3. I'm trying to think any other series I've really sort of given up on. No, I can't think. I really actually can't think. The point there have been others, but I just can't think off the top of my head that I've just given up sort of midway through. I mean, even sort of like I watched one Continuum, which was sci-fi series. It was pretty naff, but it was watchable.
I think my wife's been watching that one.
Yeah, it's pretty naff. It's about a girl and she has like this sort of latex, this sort of like leotard that's got like sort of touch controls in it. Yeah, it's a read series, okay. It's sort of so naff it's good.
Yeah, okay.
That's the best way to say it. It's really naff plot. The plot line is very convoluted. It's really naff, but it's actually quite fun to watch.
Sure.
That's finished now.
Goofy.
Yes, but it sort of gets away with it. But it takes itself quite seriously at the same time.
Sometimes those are the best. Though.
Yeah, it's
when they're so retarded and yet so serious.
Yeah.
It's, you're a bit. What the hell were you guys smoking when you came up with that idea?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but no, Helix was the most recent one I just gave up on. I think, I got about 20 minutes into episode 3. I couldn't watch it anymore. I just couldn't face it. It's like, this is so fucking awful. And I was really disappointed because that was made by Ronald D. Moore, who had done Battlestar, Star Trek, and interesting actually. Talking about sort of stopping series. Really watched Breaking Bad recently. Just can't face watching season 5.
That's the last season, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, season 5 was a fucking push.
I didn't like season 5 first time I watched it. I really lost interest watching Breaking Bad in season 5. And everybody says Breaking Bad got like good all the way through. Actually, I think season 5 was actually quite weak. I didn't like the plot line. This is spoilers for season 5. I didn't like the whole plot line of the neo-Nazis.
No.
I didn't like them. There was no.
They needed.
There were no interesting characters.
They needed to end, and I think that was a way they could force it to end.
It felt like that. Gus made sense.
Yes,
he made sense. Neo-Nazis felt like very shoehorned in.
That's what I mean. When Gus went, you thought they've nailed it.
Yeah,
but then they realised they still had to find a way to get rid of Heisenberg.
They could have. I think they could have done it with Walter White getting bigger without using the neo-Nazis. I could see it'd be interesting to sort of have them taking over Gus's.
Yeah, like having Walter White becoming the drug baron of the entirety of.
and clashing more with the proper sort of clashing with all those
Can I
guys.
throw out there, the neo-Nazis seemed really weak in comparison to Gus, and yet so to have them be the be-all and end-all, basically guys who really came across as just a bunch of street thugs.
Yeah, and the way Ray Walters and Jesse's relationship changed in season 5 felt wrong. It didn't feel like a natural progression.
No.
It felt like they had to have this conflict for no real reason. And I thought season 5 wasn't actually that great.
Well, Jesse wasn't supposed to live, was he?
He wasn't live past season 1.
He wasn't supposed to live
And
past
do you know Walt Jr. was meant to die season 1 as well?
Oh, thank God for that. That'd have been nice.
I quite like Walt Jr. No, the original. I think the original ending to season 1 was Walter was meant to keep Crazy 8 in his basement for the whole season 1, and what towards the end was going to basically set up a trap where Crazy 8 could basically kill himself using a shotgun. So what but he's been keeping his family out of the basement. Then Walt Jr. goes down, finds him, and goes up to see him, and Crazy 8 grabs him, brings the trap and kills him, but Walt Jr. So that was apparently how season 1 was meant to end.
Wow.
But that, to be fair, that would have been quite out there. That would have been quite a weird set of circumstances. But Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Once we finish watching it, I'm going to be honest. That wasn't a season I've ever thought I'd go back to, and I haven't.
I watched started from season 1. I was hooked all the way through to season 4. I got to the end of season 4 when Gus died, and it's like I can't be asked to watch season 5.
I will admit I wasn't a fan of the neo-Nazis either, and the way that it ended to me was just kind of. I think maybe at the time I was like, yeah, just because it was done.
Yeah.
But when they got rid of Hank.
Yeah.
By that point, I was just like, really? That's what it took?
I think that Hank... I couldn't get quite why Walter turned the way he did. Didn't quite make sense. I mean, Hank... I think killing of Hank was quite dramatic work, but I said it's just the whole neo-Nazis starring Matt Damon was just like... didn't do anything for me. So
no, I get you. I get you.
It's a dog.
Hello,
dog. Hello, dog. Watch the laptop.
Careful, Charles.
All right. Yeah. We did wonder. Right, we've invaded by dog. Hello, dog.
We've been down the beach.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's been a long old walk, Charles.
And he's met Gainer's dog, Molly.
Oh.
Went round to Gainer's house.
Did you, Charles?
He likes Molly.
Careful, Charles.
God.
There you go. That's a lot of Ram's equipment. It's just gone down the toilet.
Yeah. So he's met Gainer.
Yeah.
We've been around Gainer's house to have a drink and whatever. And then we walked from Gainer's house past Updale Road East. Walked past Karen's house. Douglas mum. And right, come on, I'll get you a treat. And come on, this way.
Cool.
Moving on.
Thank you for the dog break. Having said that though, I will say about season 5, I did really like the last episode, or last couple episodes.
Right.
Where Walt comes out of hiding and basically, he
does good.
He does, yeah. He basically comes back, he sorts out his 2 people who were from Grey Matter. He sort of like gets them to sort of find a way to get his money to his kids, and he basically takes over. He basically does good and finishes off, and that was the only sort of good bit about the season. That actual last episode was actually really, really nice and neat and really, really good. So, right on, Charlie.
You can't get through. Quick before we have to replace Metal Meister.
Yeah. Charlie, what's in there? Grab your bone.
Back her off, Ginge.
Your spaniel, meant to like bone. That's take it. In you go.
Yeah, let's go.
Quick, door, close.
Yeah, so we've walked
Thank
back.
you before he starts crying.
She was up there. It's Alex's 10th birthday. And she invited me in. So we've been there. And he jumped all over Dudley and ran him over.
Nice. Awesome.
Dudley's a King Charles Spaniel, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry about the dogs. The dog was quite loud.
Unlucky. If you're wearing headphones, you're doing it wrong.
Audio listeners will have that edited out for their pleasure.
Lucky
but I might put an outtake right at the end Or better, that'll be the intro to the podcast. So, let's listen to the episode around this. Pain, death, pain, death.
Headphone listeners, you failed.
Yeah. So.
Oh god. I'm just trying to think of other. Breaking Bad wasn't a bad season. I mean, or a bad series. I started watching it really late, but people were recommending it to me as soon as it came out.
I completely didn't miss the whole thing. I heard about it and I thought, that's not going to be for me. I thought, that's the idea of a drug deal. I thought it actually sounded quite naff, but Kill saying it's quite good. I thought, do you know what I'm going to watch? It's on Netflix.
Filmed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you know what I said? Up to season 4, I've got no real major complaints of Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't even mind. I mean, I don't even really mind Skylar that much. I know a lot of people.
Wife.
Yeah,
I wasn't a huge fan of her. Fuck, she got on my nerves after a while.
The first time I watched it, I could see I had a similar sort of thoughts, like, oh yeah, she's quite annoying. But actually watching it again and think about it, I actually think, do you know what? Most times she actually had quite a good point. She was stuck in a situation for no fault of her own. Mm. She was stuck there. She got put, basically, she had no choice but to be stuck in the situation, and she just tried to do the best way she could to protect her family. And yes, she was pissed off with Walter, and I can't blame her, because he basically put her in a situation which she was really screwed over by.
The sisters, I wish, would have just gone away.
Or sister.
Yeah, really. Well, no, I mean the pair of them. Oh, Skylar and her sister. They were the two of the least interesting characters in the entire show.
Yeah, I'll give you that. They weren't great. I liked Hank.
Yeah, I like Hank.
I didn't like him the first time I watched him.
Mm-hmm. But he grows on you.
He does. I think you actually realise, but he's a bit, he's a bit gung ho, alpha male-ish, and so forth. And then as you watch it later on, you actually, when he sort of like gets sort of made vulnerable, he gets shot, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And that makes him vulnerable. And then his character really comes out because he suddenly is. He's used to being top dog, and then all of a sudden he isn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that really sort of breaks his character, breaks him. Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. But yeah, I never quite got the hate of Sky. I never quite got why I disliked her, if I'm honest. Even when I watched it the first time.
I just think that she was there too much. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really find the White family dynamic that interesting. I didn't really care. The dude was there. Walter was doing what he was doing to earn money, to pay for his treatment, and to pay for his family's future. From that point on, I didn't really care what happened in the household. If someone had said to me the FBI nuked Walter's house, I wouldn't have really. But I wouldn't have really cared. I didn't care how Walter Jr. was doing in fucking school. I didn't care if Skylar was on her fucking period. I just didn't care. Those weren't the characters I was interested in.
No.
I was like, yeah, sure, Walter's doing it for his family. Great. Don't care about his family at this point.
But at the same time, I think if they were his driving force, if he didn't have them there, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I get that.
It wouldn't probably work as well if you didn't have them driving it forward.
She was there to a point near the end. She was there too much. Great. She didn't like what was going on. Good-o. Be gone.
Yeah.
I think they kind of, much like with the whole Series 5 neo-Nazi thing, she almost started getting developed more than she needed to be.
Yeah. I thought. The first time I watched it through, I agreed with you. I thought Sky was annoying, but actually, the second time watching it through, it's funny. I've really sort of readjusted my opinion on a lot of the characters, and Sky, I really don't mind that much now. I saw watching it through again. It's like, you know what? She was in a bad situation. She was trying to make the best she could.
She was, but that doesn't mean I have to like her anymore.
No, of course
the character has.
She's not particularly nice.
She was written to be an annoying, nagging bitch, and just by her storyline, there's nothing wrong with the woman behind her. I just don't like the character.
No,
I would have rather it got back to the drugs and the fucking, Walter losing his fucking mind.
Yeah,
I'd have rather it been, let's all sit in Saul's office and, I don't know, look at that wall over there. Let's all talk to fucking Huel. and Bill Burr. Let's all just sit there and let's all just sit around the table and have a chat about what we did last weekend.
Yeah.
I would have rather they did that for
Yeah.
a 3-episode arc than focus on Skylar as much as they did. I didn't care that she was a cheating wife because she was stressed out. I didn't care about her dynamic with her sister. I didn't care. They started building her up to be something, and she didn't become anything.
Now, here's a question for you. When, or if ever, did you lose sympathy for Walt? Because early on, he's quite sympathetic, isn't he? You can understand why he's doing what he's doing, and he's meant to be sort of like he's a bad guy by simple fact what he does. But there's a point, there's a turning point where basically there's a point where
the moment he kept jumping back in when he had ways out. So even after he took out after Tuco went away,
yeah,
you think to yourself, you should be done right now, mate.
Yeah.
You've learnt that this is going to go shithouse really fucking bad. But for some reason, you decide to get involved with Gus Fring.
I think at the time, though, did he not? He hadn't his cancer, but he thought he was going to die from his cancer, and he wanted to make sure he had enough money for his family. So I think at that point he couldn't leave because he would have to provide for his family.
He didn't need to keep dragging everyone else into it.
No.
The moment that Pinkman's out, and now he's back in, and then he's out, and then he's back in, and it very quickly became more about Walter.
Yeah.
Than it did even about his family. It was just, we're going to keep doing this and we're going to keep making money, but you had no way of spending it. And it just, he was building up more and more problems for himself than he really needed to.
The moment I lost complete sympathy for him, I sort of accepted that bit. Even when he let Jane die, I sort of... that's Jesse's girlfriend. She choked to death on the heroin.
Yeah. She OD'd in farms and choked.
Yeah, I sort of forgave him that because he could have saved her, but he didn't deliberately cause that. He didn't do anything, and he sort of like just choosing to do nothing doesn't seem to me. He could have said, but I don't feel quite so bad for it. The moment I lost complete sympathy for him, and I said he was a monster, was when he got Jesse to kill Gale, and that's the bit was like. You made full decision that you're going to kill this guy. You planned that you're going to kill him for no real reason. He was actually generally quite a nice person, but it's only because you were protecting your own self. You're basically protecting your own skin. You decided to kill him, but worse, you made Jesse do it, and Jesse went ahead and did it, and he didn't want to. But he did anyway, and that was to me the moment that I lost all sympathy for Walter.
I think Pinkman's breakdown was I've had enough of Walt.
Yeah.
You're thinking to yourself...
But that's a direct result of the downs, isn't it?
You've just become such a bastard, so driven by your own... It's not even about his family anymore. He's just used to... He became power mad.
Yeah.
He became drunk with power, that... He was important again, that he was being recognised for his skills, which, by the way, were wrong on a few occasions. You know, because that's all he was, a bitter dude from the moment he became a teacher.
Yeah.
Rather than being the head of this fucking company. You very quickly start to lose sympathy for Walt.
Quite well, very early on, he shows actually his true self, doesn't he? When he literally in the first episode, he actually, kicks that kid in the back of the leg, doesn't he? And quite early on, he sort of loses sympathy for him. We've had a comment, someone saying the Shitty Fly episode. I will admit, I didn't actually mind that episode too much because I thought it was an illustration of basically Walt going slightly doolally of the whole situation, the stress getting to him. But it's definitely a filler episode. And that definitely that could have been a B plot to a longer thing. It didn't need to be. That was pretty much the whole episode. That could have been a B plot, and that I will admit that went on a bit too much.
Do you think after Better Call Saul, which by the way has gone on this whole other fucking that's been derailed? I like Saul Goodman as a character. I don't think so much to carry a whole series.
Better Call Saul is very. If you're watching Better Call Saul, thinking it's gonna be like Breaking Bad, it's a mistake because it's very different.
No, that's fair, but the problem is you already know how it's going to end.
That's any prequel.
But that's it. That's one of the other things I don't. They're just starting to add things in for the sake of it. And I'm thinking to myself,
the interest is the journey.
Yeah, but how long can they stretch it out? Because I feel they're going to milk it.
I think their plan was for 5 seasons.
Sure.
Went out to season 3, and without spoiling anything for season 3, you can see the cracks starting to form. There's been a few instances throughout the whole 3 series of when Jimmy McGill disappears and Saul Goodman comes out. But you're now getting to the stage where you can see it starting to form, and you can see how they're planning to make the cracks, how it make it go.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say it's worth binging Better Call Saul. I will. Season
Don't
3.
wait for it to come out, because I think that was my
season 3. Season 2, I will admit, was very slow. It was too slow going.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 was I found was very slow going. Season 3, however, works really. Season 3 was like, I can't wait for the next episode. I was watching. I was like, I can't wait for the next episode. There are some absolutely, without revealing plot too much, his relationship to his brother comes to a head, and they get to loggerheads with each other. I won't go into the background of what happens, how it gets there, but the way they actually really comes to, and it has, and the ending of it, I didn't see coming.
Okay.
So I would say, I don't know how far you got through season 2, but I would honestly say finish season 2 off.
Remember at this point.
Finish season 2 off, and then watch season 3. I think you'll find.
Well, them chilling out in hotels an awful lot. Season 2.
Yeah, that was a lot. Season 2 was full of a lot of filler. Yeah. Season 2 is almost sort of. Season 2, I will say, wasn't a great season for Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, season 1 was quite good, although it had a funny finale.
Yeah.
Weird finale. Season 2 was okay, but season 3 they really sort of ramp up a little bit more. You start seeing more. You get more involvement with Hector and the sort of drug gangs. This is not a major spoiler, because it was announced quite far in advance of season 3. Gus turns up, but it's relatively logical. It doesn't feel like he was forced in there. It's quite logical how he turns up.
Sure.
So I would say, give season. I would say just give it a binge. I think if you binge it, you'll enjoy it more.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to season 4. Let me put it that way.
Would you say Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul are 2 seasons that you really should still watch?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'd like to throw out there Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul on your recommendation for season 3. Watch the show Suits.
That's on my list. I haven't watched that yet.
It's okay. I thought it could have ended after the first season or 2. It's now on season 7, and apparently they are still managing to run it through. There's some twists in there. It's pretty good.
It's on my. I think it's on my list.
I think you and I started watching that one before the podcast came out. It's pretty good. I think we actually started watching Suits before Breaking Bad.
Oh, crumbs.
So that was a thing. It was an alright show. There was another show, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. Was it a film or a show that I'm thinking of? I can't remember now. If I can remember, I'll add it to the next thing. But yeah, if you can get hold of these on Blu-rays or get them in a box set, don't buy them on individual Blu-ray because I
or
feel
Netflix.
Well, yeah, sure. I just like the idea of actually having the damn thing where you can actually watch it whenever you want, not when the license runs out.
Yeah, that is a downside.
Because you could be 2/3 of the way through a really cool season, and all of a sudden the license is going like, well, that's my plan for the afternoon gone.
Yeah.
Have they said when season 4 of Better Call Saul's coming up? I know this has nothing to do with Star Trek. We've gone from Star Trek to Better Call Saul, but
it's similar time next year.
Okay.
Season 3 came out this year, but obviously next year.
Okay.
Similar time. From what I gather, I think they are at the stage now where they need to. Basically, they've had what's the showrunner's name? What's his name? The showrunner. I can see his name in my head, but I can't say enough to say what it is.
That person.
Yeah, I think basically they've said that the trouble is they know where it's got to go. They like Jimmy McGill too much, and they don't really want to make him Saul Goodman. So that's why they have to sort of force themselves to
Neat. I liked the character. I just didn't like season 2.
Season 2, I will. Yeah, season 2 was that bad, but yeah, it's season 3. Really, you have to watch season 2 for season 3 to make sense.
Yeah.
But
we were so psyched when Better Call Saul came out. I remember us all talking about it. It was it was going to be really cool.
You talk about I hadn't watched Breaking Bad when you were talking about Better Call Saul, and that's when I went to watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I first you said, "Well, it's really good. Why did no one tell me?"
Mm-hmm. See, I was getting hyped up about Breaking Bad long before. I don't even think it was actually out on British Netflix at the time that I was being told about it. I was getting told about it years and years before we even started the podcast.
Yeah.
But you know, how would you feel to a Jesse Pinkman show?
I would. Well,
like
it wouldn't work as a prequel.
Pinkman's survival, him leaving, getting away. Because Goodman has been a prequel. Let's see Pinkman after the fact.
I would actually not want to see that because I think the
mystery of it is better.
No, I think actually the whole point of Breaking Bad was the sort of juxtaposition between Jesse Pinkman, who starts out as a basically useless, low life. You know, he's not doing his school. He comes from a good family, but he's basically ruined his life.
Yeah.
Who over the course of this series, he actually tries to better himself. And I think the ending of it is quite nice because I vaguely remember. Wasn't there an ending scene? I might have dreamt this, where basically you see it's all after it ends. You see him like in a wood workshop or something. Like he's done his, or was that something he dreamed while he was?
I don't remember.
I vaguely remember seeing a dream of him.
I barely remember.
He wants to work. He wants to do stuff with his hand, basically do woodworking. And I think sort of the implication was that he basically gets out. At the end, he gets out of it, and I think it's a nice sort of ending to say he started from a bad situation. He was like sort of the one who got on the bad side of things. But as time went on, he realised he basically screwed his life up and got out.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Are you saying this dream that you're thinking of was in the end of season 5? Was
it
right at the end of season 5?
I think it's either. I definitely said in the last episode. I think it might have been like a couple episodes before when he's trapped. He's in his little cage. I think he might have dreamt that he was like owning a wood workshop, making things like he always liked doing. And because
where he wanted to be rather than where he is.
And I think to me that's the end is that he gets out and he escapes. So I did making a Jesse Pinkman spin-off. With him going back to his old ways, I think would ruin the whole point of the series.
That's not what I was thinking of. It's seeing him actually get away from where he runs at the end of Breaking Bad to what he becomes.
Perhaps
is he one of the few people that actually? Yeah, but does he make it?
I think the whole sort of set of Breaking Bad was basically him making it in a way. I think that's if it did anything other than that, I think that's all. If it did anything, I think it's all ruined the point of the series. If he didn't, what I would like to see is the case of Better Call Saul is flash forward, and we go to see what happened because obviously you get the little at the start of each season you get the little shorts of Saul working at Cinnabon.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is. His name Jerry or something. Cover name. I think it'd be interesting to see him later on what happens after.
Yeah.
Show him what happens after Breaking Bad. Even if it's like for just a couple of episodes at the end of the season. Better Call Saul. The last episode of the season isn't actually Better Call Saul. It's like that ends his sort of story on how he becomes Saul Goodman ends at episode 9. Episode 10 is like a bonus episode where we see him afterwards and what happens to him afterwards. And
so what you're saying is so I think it's in season 1 he gets locked in that kind of maintenance bin area, doesn't he?
Season 2 he gets locked in the maintenance bin area.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Season 1 is just him working in the shop.
The door basically shuts behind him and he's like getting really angry. Yeah. There are flashbacks to how he kind of got to here. You want to kind of see that he goes home and everything's okay kind of thing, or that he says, no, fuck this job, let's go.
I want to see a whole episode of basically how he finishes off his life basically. In whether I'm not saying he's have a good ending, but an ending to show what happens to him and so forth. And I think it'd be nice for Saul to actually, having realised the way he basically screws his life up, because you watch through season 1 of Better and you realise he's basically a screw up.
Yeah.
And
What you're saying is you want
these.
all these episodes to come up to some kind of closure of realization that there is something better out there and you can achieve it.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Sure.
So,
no matter how badly you've screwed up, you can still do good in your life.
cool. Shall we move on to other news?
Just one last question.
Oh, yeah?
We're tying back to Star Trek. How do you feel briefly about the films? The new, well, I guess new. I don't know. If
The
they're
reboots.
Still, I guess.
Okay, crucifixion time. I don't mind them. I will admit that the first film had way too much lens flare, but I've quite enjoyed the Star Trek films.
Sure.
I've quite liked the reboots.
I do remember hearing one of the actors had been killed.
Yes, the one who plays Chekhov, he died in a car accident.
Sure.
I think he
faulty Land Rover or something.
No,
or faulty Jeep. Or
faulty
something.
Jeep. Yeah, basically, he didn't take his. He was opening his property, and he hadn't took the car out properly out of park, put a pocket out of drive, and while he was on his gate, he creeped forward and
Crushed him
between the gate and killed him. Which is a shame because he actually, in the third of the reboot films, he actually starts playing. His character gets a lot more developed.
Sure.
And then he won't be in anymore. That's it. Yeah, he won't be in anymore, obviously. So I quite like the reboot Star Treks, if I'm honest.
The wife, she's a Trekkie. She started watching the reboots. They didn't seem bad. They didn't seem awful.
No, they're not. I don't like the fact that the second one was basically a rehash of an existing film. It's like, well, you could have done something different.
I wonder if maybe that was the one she was watching.
That's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch in.
Khan,
yeah. I don't like that one, but the third one was actually co-written.
It was the second one she was
The
watching.
third one is co-written by Simon Pegg.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a lot more humour in
Christ, he gets everywhere.
Well, yeah, Simon Pegg. It's got a lot more humour in the third one because he's a comedy writer.
He's like a fucking disease.
It's also got Idris Elba in as a bad guy. And
I'm sorry, Simon Pegg, but you are. You're like the STI.
I like it. I like Simon Pegg. It's got Idris Elba in it, and Idris Elba is one of my most favourite
Don't
actors.
fuck up Ready Player One, Pegg.
Is he involved with that?
Yeah, he plays the Great and Powerful Og.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, the co-creator of the Oasis.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Well, there you go.
I like Og tomorrow.
Oh,
Don't
have you?
screw it up.
Okay, question. Because obviously, probably the sort of the films that he's set him up were the Cornetto trilogy. So, Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah, Hot
Fuzz, and World's End.
Yeah.
Now, Shaun of the Dead, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, really enjoyed. That's one of my favourite ones. I watch it every year.
Yeah.
World's End, really disliked.
World's End just reminded me of Me, You, Weasel and all that lot.
Yeah, that's true.
It really did.
World's End took way too long
It did
to
start
go.
to grind on.
It was like, oh god, I'm going to Nerd Pub. Just get on with it. It's like an hour and a half before anything actually happens.
Yeah, it did start to grind on. Oh fuck, who's the guy who played Bilbo? Freeman?
Yeah, it's Martin Freeman.
Yeah. It must have been quite early on because that's his sister is one of the characters or something. I got tired of that thing.
Yeah.
As soon as they started fighting the chavs in the toilet or something like that. By that point on, I was like, this film's neat, but can we move on?
I got pretty fed up with World's End. I thought World's End was actually a really poor film.
I've seen worse. I've seen way worse.
Yeah. I'd say it was the worst film. I thought it was a poor film.
Of the trilogy, it was probably the weakest.
Yeah.
That was neat.
I can't. I said Hot Fuzz I watch yearly.
Yeah.
Shaun Dead I've watched several times. I can't see myself ever watching it World's End again.
Yeah, I remember watching it when it came out. I haven't. Seen it since.
I watched it last year because I sort of build up.
World's End is the only one I don't own on a digital service. The other ones I own elsewhere.
Last year I happened to have an actual day off where I wasn't going anywhere. The family was all away, so I had a day to myself, sort of in the quiet. I thought, do you know what? I've not watched it World's End. I've been sort of planning to do that. I've enjoyed Shaun of the Dead. I've enjoyed Hot Fuzz. I'm really looking forward to watching this. And I watched it. And I was like, oh, just get on with it. And yeah, it was like, and the ending of it was a little bit shit, and
yeah, the
It's-
ending was a bit weak, but
yeah, it's like
I kind of liked the characters. I liked some of the characters there. I didn't like Freeman. I basically liked, is it Nick Frost and Simon Pegg?
it was quite funny. Yeah, it was quite funny early on. I like the fact that when they go to the pub and they go to the next pub that's part of the same chain, it's the exact same pub. I quite like that. It was quite funny, but it's like. I was like thinking, what point does this film actually start?
Yeah.
Is this going to be free as just watching them going to different pubs? I thought I get that, but it's like start the plot now.
Yeah. I don't really know if I like quite where the plot went.
No, I
to be
don't either.
honest.
I thought it was very, very weak, and it felt like
Did you care about any of the characters?
no,
No, me either.
no,
Me either.
and I thought the ending was a little bit shit.
Yeah.
I thought that didn't really, it didn't really make sense. It didn't,
Like I said,
they
there were only
didn't
two characters
work.
in the entire film that I actually really kind of got attached to, and that was literally Frost and Peg.
Yeah,
the only
they're the ones who you instantly get attached to in any of the films.
Well, yeah,
aren't they?
because they're the ones that are built up with the other characters. I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't care about any of the other characters.
no,
So whether they could have like said, "Oh no, I got drunk by pub 2 and went home."
yeah,
Who cares? You were crap characters.
yeah.
They just didn't seem.
It wasn't a very tight script. I felt Hot Fuzz was a really tight script that worked really well. And a nice sort of bit of subterfuge in it. It's like the fact that it was built up and you're convinced you know the bad guy is. And then they pull the rug from underneath you.
God, yeah.
And it all makes sense. You think, oh, we're getting to the conclusion now. You think
greater good.
for the greater good. Yeah, I find myself quoting Hot Fuzz at work. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever quoted anything out of World's End. I don't even remember much out of World's End, but Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. That was
World's End. There was that little kind of twist about that kind of really got me. I was like, okay, I can see that he just can't let go.
Yeah.
There's that one point that has just caused his entire life to, and I can kind of relate to some of that. Think to myself, I should have probably done something different there, or I should have done better. I can think of a million ways that I could relate to that. But then I can also remember a few times that my mates have dicked me over something hardcore, and nothing has worked out as it should have done. Yeah. Because someone else threw a spanner in the works.
Hot Fuzz, I find really. There's so many moments in there. I just feel laugh out loud. I mean, the bit where
Shaun of the Dead.
Really?
Yes.
I prefer Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the bit where he goes back into the sort of there's just so many callbacks. It sets up so when you watch it again and you see all the callbacks it sets up.
Yeah.
Like the farmers and the farmer's mum joke.
Yes.
Yeah, and when he goes back in, there's the bit that always makes me laugh is when the old lady sort of comes out along on a little push bike and she's shooting the two guns.
Yeah. That was really, I thought that was really well written. Is Edgar Wright?
Yeah.
Really came into his own by that point.
Yeah.
He really showed some skill there. I liked the cast.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something about Shaun of the Dead that I preferred.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I saw Hot Fuzz before I saw Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
I thought
I used to watch.
I bought Hot Fuzz as a birthday present.
Sure.
And I watched it. Mother and father hated it.
Let's put it this way: I watched Shaun of the Dead enough to wreck the DVD.
Probably, yeah. And then after I watched Hot Fuzz, I went and got Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And really watched it and really enjoyed it. But yeah, it didn't quite click with me the same way that Hot Fuzz did.
Sure.
I think perhaps
because the thing is, though, a lot of the jokes from Hot Fuzz came from Shaun of the Dead. So if the fucking fence jump and
little
other stuff
callbacks.
Yeah. So if you watched it the other way around, I could probably see why you didn't get that same.
I think also that I think what makes Hot Fuzz work more is that Hot Fuzz hasn't got any real fantastical elements to it. Shaun of the Dead, the sort of comic with zombies, it's quite good, and then Wilson's got the aliens in it. But Hot Fuzz is just like this. I don't know. I just
they were trying to make English police chases and police officers look exciting.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. I can remember
Yeah.
actually seeing an interview between Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, and they said, look, you know, when you go to America, they've got fast cars and guns. What have we got? A fucking diesel.
I knew I was going to like it as soon as the very first bit is, you know, advanced motorist, advanced bike one. He shows all this, does a sort of handbrake turn,
And then
push
stares
bike.
back at the camera.
Yeah, it's like
With that face.
it's like I'm going to like this film.
What
film.
was my favourite bit? You can't just make people disappear. Yes, I can. I'm the chief inspector. And I was like, you bastard!
Yeah.
You fucking bastard! You don't like him, so you're just gonna ship him out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like that, is it?
Yeah, that was so
Try
well.
and argue
That
with
was
the chief
that was
inspector,
so that was so well written. Yeah, yes, I can.
It's like, you want to take this higher? Then it's like just calls to the person in the next office
Yeah.
over, and then just walks and sits down.
Yeah.
How's the hang? It's a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
And the chief inspector's like, but you can't argue with the chief inspector of the fucking Met.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's just like, oh, well, it's like, you are going over there whether you like it or not. I was like, shit, how can I get any higher than him?
Yeah, and the way, I love that he distracts the shopkeeper by getting all the kids to go to the shop at the same time.
That's got like one whatever.
One child at a time.
Yeah.
And so he basically gets them all to go in at the same time and distract her.
I like the way they did that. I will be honest, as a film and the way that it was written, Hot Fuzz is better, but I just preferred.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I need to watch those again now.
Yeah, I need to.
I need to see if I can find my copies.
What Hot Fuzz was the very first DVD. It was the very first film I watched on my new PC.
Really?
Yeah, I built my PC. Put it. If I'm going to watch Hot Fuzz this evening,
Boom, in it goes.
Hot Fuzz. I can only watch on a bank holiday Monday in May when it's raining. I'll accept May time, but it's got to be raining, so it's got that sort of in the evening time pouring down.
You've
rain
got to have
stuff.
that vibe, that groove has
That's
to be
because that was like a perfect storm when I watched it the first time. I like that sort of perfect storm. I had to like try and recreate those circumstances. So I know it's weird. I like doing things like that.
Cool.
I was even worse when I was younger. No, when I was younger, I used to like rearranging my room. I used to rearrange my room like sort of 3 times a year. Just move all the bed around, everything
Sounds
like
like
that.
such feng shui.
I used to do it to the date. So every year I would change it on the same date to the same layout.
Hang on.
Yeah, I know. I was a weird child.
Bless you.
I haven't really got much sensible now, but I was quite a weird child.
With that said,
No, not again.
Yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud.
look, I'm getting excited because of the Cornetto trilogy.
I can't hold this by myself.
You have to. You've got to
I
practice.
can't manage it. It's too big a responsibility. Oh no, not again. Yay. Can't believe he's abandoned me again. It always does this. Oh, well, he's done it once before. Try us for if you can't previous podcasts. Cry out loud. And he's only had 2 carlings and about 3 cups of tea. Lightweight. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're all enjoying your evening. For this thrilling next few minutes of podcast. Make sure this is still recording. Holy, yeah, we need to start wrapping this up soon. This is going to be a fun one to edit. Ugh.
Another reason to like Shaun of the Dead more. Dylan Moran was in it.
Yeah. Right, this compass reckons north is in 2 different directions. That's a problem.
Yeah, it's magic. It's one of them kids' compasses learning to learn anything.
So currently north is that way. If I do that, north is now that way.
It's magic.
Yeah, it's good. You left me in charge of the podcast and all went wrong.
What did you do now?
I talked to people.
Who did you offend this time? That's
I
my
don't
job.
know anyone. I just didn't know what to say.
What did you say? 1 second.
Pretty much, yeah.
The greatest impression of a hot dog. It was like sat there. Like sat there rocking back and
Pretty much, yeah.
Like walk back in. Ram, what's wrong with it? It's like he's suffering with a minor trauma.
Yeah.
How? He's just sat there in front of a camera. You've been doing this for 4 years.
All by myself. I've already had a
You do ram rants.
Yeah, but I pre-record them. I can edit those bits out. What you don't know is those ram rants are about 3 hours long before I edit them.
That's it. Look, sat there, take again. He's got an entire crew doing ram rants.
Yeah. Neville is out there. He's always sorting me out.
There's fucking 12 people throwing him in front of camera. Yeah. You don't realise there's someone on each side with a fucking shotgun. You will fucking stand there and do this damn video.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes. Anyway, show me on to our last section.
Yes.
Other news, because we've actually been at this for 2 hours 20 minutes.
Oh my
Admittedly,
God.
if we take out your toilet breaks, it'll be more like an hour.
Yeah, I know. What can I say? I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I'm an old man.
So other news, couple of things. One I saw, I don't know if you might have some opinions on this, is Miiverse is shutting down.
I did hear, and do you know how I heard?
Message from Miiverse?
The Miiverse equivalent in Splatoon 2, because Splatoon 2 doesn't actually connect to Miiverse, but it has a very Miiverse-y... so in Splatoon 1, Miiverse was like a social network thing, and it had groups per game that people could talk about the game. You could like leave little messages, draw things, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you left pictures in the Splatoon one, they would occasionally pop up in the game, in the main kind of lobby. That's in Splatoon 2 as well, but there is no Miiverse on the Switch. And you can clearly tell Nintendo don't police it that well because, you know...
I've seen the photos.
There are some really odd ones that they fly up in levels and stuff. You know.
Which is weird for Nintendo because they were always pretty hot on that, weren't they, for a long time?
Well, you could get banned for near enough anything on Miiverse, which is why I never used it. But in Splatoon 2, I don't know, this isn't a big one, but it was the last one that I can think of that made me chuckle was LGBT. I can't remember the actual. Is it lesbian, gay,
bisexual, and transsexual,
whatever it is gay, and that flew on a flag in one of the levels. It was just written there in text, like scribbled on the gamepad, and it was there flying on a flag on one of the levels. Fucking stupid. I don't know. Miiverse to me didn't really come across as all that useful. It was neat the way they implemented it into a few of the games, like Splatoon.
So obviously, it must the writing. Anyone who got a Switch must have saw the writing on the wall immediately because Switch is now. Did anything in the Switch connect to the Miiverse or?
There is no Miiverse.
So,
on the Switch, there is no Miiverse.
So pretty much the writing was on the wall. As soon as you got Switch, you knew Miiverse was going.
Yeah, pretty much. There is no Miiverse at all. It was on the Wii U. That's it. I don't remember it being on 3DS. Divine can correct me on that one if I'm wrong, but because he's got a 3DS, we played some games together. I don't remember there being anything of the Miiverse on anything other than the Switch, other than on the Wii U, and the Wii U's dead. They killed the Wii U, so which means that it was going with it.
Yeah. So we'll show the Miiverse. It was Miiverse just for the purpose of like a social network, or are there any games that use it as a backbone?
Nope.
So
it was literally there as kind of a tie-in, an extra tie-in. I have never ever once played a game where Miiverse or taking away Miiverse or not using it could break the game.
That's good. That's good. And that's quite good actually in a way.
Splatoon 1, nothing that I can think of other than the little things that appear in the lobby. There were games that tried to promote you to post on Miiverse, but you could just skip over that. I mean, you know, on some accounts you could actually block people from using Miiverse. So like, I won't let my kids post on social networks. So Miiverse included, and I locked down their Nintendo accounts so they couldn't post on Miiverse. There hasn't been a game to this day that you couldn't play without going on it.
Apparently there was a weird notes thing on the 3DS, like Miiverse.
There was a chat thing on the DS. I don't know about the 3DS, but I don't remember there being anything Miiverse-esque on 3DS. I mean, you know, Divine said that there is something there, but that said, I haven't used my 3DS since Monster Hunter 4 came out.
That's a while ago.
A long ass time ago. I was still living in the bungalow when that game came
I remember you talking about it on podcast.
Yeah. I didn't play the new one, and I won't play the newest one either. Newest one was supposed to come out on Switch, or it's called Monster Hunter Double Cross. Japan only release. So that's another reason to not buy a Switch.
This is a bit weird because Monster Hunter's always done quite well over here, is it not?
Yeah, it's more of a niche title over here. We're still getting Monster Hunter World, which is coming out on PlayStation 4, but Double Cross is not coming out on the Switch. Or it doesn't seem to, because it's out in Japan. It's out now in Japan. No sign of coming out.
I'm going to think that overall the verdict is Miiverse is no great loss.
No. It's a shame they killed off another service, but as I say, the Switch games that have the same kind of feature or the same kind of stuff, like Splatoon 1 had it come up in levels and in lobbies. Splatoon 2 still does that, and it doesn't have Miiverse.
I think it's the trouble. It's the trouble when you tie any company ties a social game to, or a social network specifically to a specific brand or game or something. You're far better off using a third party one, which you know will exist independent. So
trouble is,
I know if you're not a fan of social networks, then that's not a great thing. But the idea of time, obviously, you have less control over. You have a lot more control over Miiverse, but you know whenever that situation involved, that at some point it's not going to last super long per time.
Nintendo, up until the Wii U, has been so fucking mental anal about protecting the kids and making the family-friendly environment. I don't think they'd have outsourced to say something like
that's what I mean.
Twitter or whatever. So
Facebook,
it was almost guaranteed to die with. They weren't going to send it out to somewhere where you could have some little bastard kid troll you constantly.
No.
Like, oh look, here's a dick pic, here's a dick pic, here's a dick pic. You're a fag, gay, Nazi, you know, whatever.
Little fag, gay, Nazi, that's going to work well, isn't it?
Stupid gay fag. You know, that weren't going to be a thing on a Nintendo console. That said, they don't really seem to be doing a lot to censor it on the Switch, but...
No, I've noticed that. I mean, I said the amount of pictures I've seen on Reddit turning up of things that people put on, appeared on, like Splatoon, a lot of Splatoon stuff. Pictures.
Well, yeah, because that is pretty much the only thing that you get that kind of stuff turn up in.
Yeah.
Splatoon is pretty much the game carrying the Switch at the moment.
Not Zelda then.
Oh, that game's awful.
But I know you don't like it, but in general,
no. Zelda is dead. That was one of the things when the Switch came out. People were like, "Well, what do you do after Zelda? If you bought it for Zelda, after
you can get the Switch version of Skyrim of a game that was released 6 years ago."
Actually, I know a fair few people that will be buying that, and I will probably be buying it, and I don't like Skyrim.
But it's a game that came out 6 years ago, and all you can do on it is, but now you can draw your bow. It's like, well...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's the idea that it's Skyrim in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's the same reason with me in Splatoon 2. I prefer Splatoon 1, but Splatoon 2 I can carry around in my bag.
Yeah.
The Switch... Zelda was never going to carry the Switch.
No.
There was a clear end to Zelda, and a lot of people joked, what do you play after you beat Zelda? You were going to get between 40 and 80 hours out of it. I did a 4 or 5 hour stream of... So don't tell you about this. We did a stream with Chalky. Chalky and many of the people who I talked to we are all of the same opinion that Zelda is absolute horseshit. It is not a Zelda game. It does not have any of the things that made previous Zelda games great. So I said, I had a chat with Chalky a couple of weeks ago, and I said, look, how far have you actually got in the game? And the way that he described it to me, he'd actually gotten reasonably far into the game. Oh, I've done shrines, a load of shrines, and the shrines like the mini dungeon things, like single puzzles that you could beat in 3 minutes or less in a room. And I've done X, Y, Z. I was like, okay, cool. You've got to at least gotten to this point, so point valid. Remember, you should know full well that me and Chalky have had that argument in the past that you have to give games a decent amount of time before you can judge them. That was his thing, arguing with me, right?
At least a couple of hours.
Yeah. He said to me when I played Elder Scrolls Online that I had to have played it for like 15 hours or something stupid like that. Or I had to have played half of the game or something. I was like, that's an MMO. I'd have been there my entire life.
If a game hasn't started, if after 2 hours of playing a game you haven't got enough inclination to carry on.
Well, some games you can finish in 4.
Yeah, exactly. So there's something wrong with a game that if after 2 hours you still have no inclination to carry on playing it, that's a game that I would argue is... even games that are hard to get into, even games that are hard, like say for example Armour, it's a hard game to get into, but still if you play it for a couple of hours you're going to know within those times if you're going to keep playing it.
That if you haven't really gotten into the game within the first hour and a half, if you're not into it by that point, you should probably really find something else.
So 2 hours is my sort of cut-off point. If I've not gone to a game within 2 hours, I'll probably go...
Well, a lot of the games I play, though, you can finish in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, I like to play a lot of indie titles. They don't tend to last that long.
No.
But... I played 8 hours of Elder Scrolls Online, and I was still told I didn't give it a fair shot.
No, see, I'm sorry, 8 hours in, that's more than enough time.
And it was me, Divine, and Inky.
If they can't decide it to grab you within 8 hours...
And I'm a seasoned MMO player. I've played fucking... almost literally billions of MMOs, from big boy MMOs by Blizzard to little tiny Korean or Chinese MMOs that basically have 3 players and then everyone quits. One of my favourite MMOs of all time just got cancelled, like shit canned out of nowhere, and that was Raiders. Brilliant action MMO. Fucked up the launch, everyone left. But so I'm sat there and I said to Chalky, okay, let's have a look how far you got. He brings his Switch around one day because Chalky decided he was going to come round and we were going to go do one of our random walks. We were actually going to, for a laugh, take Splatoon out into the middle of a field, connect to a hotspot, and then play Splatoon on video from the middle of a field, out in the middle of nowhere, like out in the boonies. And he loads up his Switch, he puts on Zelda, and I get to see how far he's got. He'd gotten to Kakariko Village. That's literally the tutorial.
Right.
So there are 3, is it 3 or 4 shrines in Breath of the Wild before you get your hand glider. Your hand glider takes you off the plateau, and the next quest is to go to Kakariko Village, where you are then literally told your quest. Right? This is where you need to go. You need to unlock these abilities, then do more things. He hadn't even gotten to Kakariko Village. Or he'd gotten there, but hadn't even spoken to the main character of the village. He hadn't initiated the quest or anything. He'd given up in about an hour's worth of gameplay. So we sat down, and I said, right, you're going to fucking play this, mate. You're going to sit down, and you're going to play the game. I showed him some tricks, so that because a lot of the complaints I managed to throw out the window very quickly. He sat there, we played it for about 4, maybe 5 hours, and I said to him, because he hated it the entire way through pretty much, we acknowledged that there was some plus sides to the game, there were a load of downsides to the game, and I said, do you remember that time you ripped into me for disliking Pokemon and Elder Scrolls Online and these other games? And he's like, yeah, I take all that back. I take all that back. I was like, you fucking damn right you take that back, because this game sucks dick and you know it.
Yeah.
You've played it for a couple of hours and you knew you didn't like it. I've now made you play it for 4 and you still think the game sucks. Yeah. You had an opinion very quickly.
Stockholm Syndrome hasn't quite kicked in yet.
So, and most of the people I know that have played that game disliked it very quickly. I gave them a few tricks to make it more bearable, because no one liked the hunter-gatherer aspect of the game. No one. Easy way to solve that problem, people. It's called amiibos. Because, you have to get food to get your health back. Just tap an amiibo on the console. It rains food. Food and items rain from the sky. Pick them up. You can do that once a day. Makes the hunter-gatherer thing just throw it out the window. Shrines, you can't really get around those, but I'm going to tell you now, shrines do not equate to dungeons. I'd rather have a good dungeon than, say, 10 shrines. And the story, the world is so big, there's just nothing happening in it.
Yeah.
There's no story to it. There's just not enough story. The whole game just feels like padding, with maybe there's like 5 hours worth of story and a shit ton of padding. To kind of get to it. So that game was never going to carry the Switch. It was a system seller to start with because everyone wanted to see what it was. Most people I know thought it was overrated trash. Most people I know bought the Switch for Splatoon 2 because they never got a chance to play Splatoon 1. It was the most interesting IP on the system at the time. And it continues to be so.
Cool.
Fuck Zelda. What was it we were actually getting on about? Oh yeah, Miiverse being dead.
Yeah.
But
sounds like because I was interested. I didn't know how much you might have touched or used it, or if at all, and it turns out you didn't use it.
There was no need to. It didn't force me to in any game that it tried. If a game tries to shoehorn in an external feature, won't touch it. Won't fucking touch it. I'll just ignore it. Same with those games that have single player campaigns that then try and shoehorn in a multiplayer mode. Like the new Metal Gear Solid 5, apparently you're playing through the game, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's this multiplayer thing, do this and we'll unlock stuff in the single player campaign. Fucking don't do that. Just give me my story mode and be done with it.
Yeah, I had a similar issue with, until they patched it, Mass Effect 3. So the whole point of Mass Effect 3, you're trying to basically build up a fleet to take back Earth, and you get given a score.
Right.
And originally, and basically to get the top ending, you need a fleet score of, I think, at least... Now, I can't remember if they changed the fleet score level or if they changed what you got, but I think originally you need to have like a fleet score of like at least 900. Well, single player, you can never do it. Right. But you used to get points for playing multiplayer.
Sure.
So basically what they were saying was, in order for you to get the best ending in the single player, you must play the multiplayer. People obviously went ballistic.
Yeah.
Quite so. Why should I have to play a multiplayer game just to, because I don't want to play multiplayer, you're going to screw me over the good ending?
Yeah.
And what they did is they just lowered the threshold right low, so if you at least all played the game decently, even if you don't get everything, you've still got a good chance of getting a good ending.
Sure.
And that's part of it. We were discussing earlier. I always used to wait for a few months to patch, and that's one of the things they patched quite early on, was to fix that, because that was ridiculous. You know, why am I being punished because I don't play multiplayer? But I've got to, in order to unlock the good ending in my single player game. Doesn't make sense.
Unlocking things in multiplayer by beating the single player, good. Doing it the other way around, bad idea, people.
No, because I was just to know actually how many, if you take a game that's got multiplayer and single player, what the ratio is between people who play the single player but never touch the multiplayer and vice versa.
The trouble is, since say the Xbox 360 generation, like the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Call of Duty is the big fuck up for this one. That Call of Duty games, basically the single player became tutorial for multiplayer. Yeah. There was no reason for it to even be there. It was just a multiplayer game.
The multiplayer took off, didn't it, really hard when it first came out.
And that is kind of where this all came from. People make these games on the grounds that you're going to spend most of your time in the multiplayer. And that's where Rockstar got it from. Yeah. They're hoping that you are going to spend all of your time in...
Which is why I had to give you a multiplayer tutorial.
Yeah, so. They had to give me a story. They felt it was nice that they felt they would give me a story and that I'd like that, but I'm pretty sure I still have an imagination. I'm just going to imprint on this character and say, right, what would I do? Introduce me to the characters in the cutscenes and I will do the rest myself.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need you to hold my hand and say, here's your next mission, Skazz. It's like, no, mate, give me a shotgun, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, don't put in limitations in your games to force us to play multiplayer. Don't give us don't give us limitations once we get into the multiplayer either. You know,
Cool.
just let me play.
Awesome. The other thing I want to discuss is it's not really news. It came about a few days ago. So about 18 months ago, I'll forget his name. I'll give you his name. I think his name is Mark Laidlow. I think his name is. I will tell you in a second. Yeah, I know.
Please tell me you got the page bookmarks in now.
Yes, it's here. Mark Laidlaw. Okay. So Mark Laidlaw.
1 second.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World is also coming out on PC. Just so you know, Jet, I think that Monster Hunter World is going to be baby's first Monster Hunter game. It's going to be there to appease all the fags that haven't played Monster Hunter previously. It's going to be so easy, it's not even going to be worth it. At least Double Cross was going to be tricky.
Yes, anyway. Mark Laidlaw.
Yep.
So he was like the head writer at Valve for the Half-Life series.
Yes.
A couple other guys. He left 2016. He left last year.
Didn't we mention that before?
We mentioned this. Basically, this was Sinners. When he was leaving, was Sinners like the
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, for Half-Life 3. And to be honest, I think most of us had twigged Half-Life 3 was dead. So we just didn't really want to admit it. And this is the running joke of, they're going to announce Half-Life 3. It's all become a running joke at that point.
Yeah.
But I think most people realise, Half-Life 3 isn't going to come out. And
Valve would be psychotic. They would be suicidal.
Because they'll never match the hype.
No chance.
You know, they could, doesn't matter how, they made a game perfect in every way, it would not match the hype.
Nope.
They've basically, I think that's part of the reason why they never go.
Yeah, it will never, that's what I'm saying, it will never come out because no matter, even if that game cured cancer, created the world peace became a thing because of Half-Life 3, it would still not match the hype.
PC game, we don't care about world peace. Wow. As long as we still got a stable internet connection, that's all we worry about.
Well, there you go then, it could give us fucking gigabit connection.
Now you're talking.
But people still wouldn't be happy with it.
No.
They'd still
there's no way that Half-Life 3 would ever match hype.
Nope.
But what's interesting is on the 25th of August, he released I'll read you the thing what he called it. He basically released what he called a fan fiction called Epistille Flea, starring Gertrude Fremont. And basically it's a story of Gertrude Fremont, and he goes down and he goes to with his friend Alex Vaughnt. And pretty much basically it's the entire he's basically written the entire plot line of episode 3. So basically we've got a taste of what episode 3, and I think realistically it was either going to be episode 3 or Half-Life 3. I don't think it was going to be one or the other.
Yeah, I was going to say when you mentioned it, I've been hearing kind of mixes that it's either going to be 2 episode 3 or 3.
Yeah, I don't think the idea of because Valve tried episode gaming, it didn't work. You know, the idea of you can have an episode every month just didn't work.
No.
And I don't think anyone successfully tried that, apart from people who do the whole game in advance and then release it episode by episode. The idea of, we'll do a bit each month and we'll release a new episode, it just doesn't work. Because there's no way you can design it, build it, play test it in a month.
Sure.
Just even if you've got the systems all set up, you can't do it. What's interesting, he's written out the entire plot line to it. And I think this is another sort of, and for a lot of people, this has been like the final. You mentioned like him leaving was the final nail in the coffin, but it's almost like it's all like a walking ghost phase.
Yeah.
This has been
You're saying this is it.
This is it.
The end.
Because he's basically released a storyline, and the fact he's happy to release it says to me that, and I think to a lot of people that
It's done.
It's done. And the fact that all the writers involved have now left. There's no one left there who would have possibly carried it on. But it was interesting to see, because the trouble was when you read through it, it was going to be bloody cool.
Really? You're the only person I've heard say they liked it.
Really? I quite liked it. I thought, do you know what,
Majority of the people who read that through, because I have never, ever, to memory at least, I might have done, I don't remember, ever finished a Half-Life game.
Right.
Ever. I own them. I've owned them for years. I had them on my first Steam account. I have a second Steam account because I can't remember my first one. Nowhere near as many games on the first one.
I think what people will be disliking is the ending.
Right.
So the basic story is, so episode 2, and this is spoilers for a piece of fan fiction, which is obviously episode 3 that was written and released recently for a game that should have been released 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting that out there. So basically, at the end of episode 2, you get sent off to go to this. Basically, this is where ties Aperture Science and Half-Life get tied together because they've always been in the same universe.
Yeah, same universe, but they're two separate companies,
Yeah.
Black Mesa and Aperture.
And Black Mesa gets mentioned in when you play Portal. They mentioned Black Mesa.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's dotted around everywhere.
Yeah, but Half-Life 2 was the first time they mentioned Aperture Science. Because I think, obviously, in the first Portal, it was just a joke. But in the last Portal, they sort of tied it together. And there's this place called... you basically discover there's this ship that Aperture Science were working on. And in Portal 2, you can actually find the dock where the ship was. You can actually find where the ship was docked. And it's due to their poor technology. And they find it in episode 2, they find where it is, and you go off basically to find the ship. Because it's quite the key to defeating the Combine. But what was interesting about it is basically as you get on board the ship is sort of like phasing in and out of existence. So it's not quite here yet, it's sort of like in between. So as you're moving through it, the rooms be sort of phasing in and out, so you sort of have to navigate your way through. And there's to be like different time periods you'll be working through. So I think that sounds like quite an interesting mechanic. What people dislike, I think, is the ending of it. Because at the end, and again this is spoilers if you really want spoilers ruined. The G-Man takes Alex away. Basically, you have there's a choice of, there's a choice that you're fixed down. You can either try and one character says, let's take this ship back we can stabilize the ship, take it back to the rebels, and we can use the technology to defeat the Combine. And then Alex says, no, let's just full power it straight to their system and actually just destroy it and basically take them out at the same time. And that's bloody weak, because the idea that this one ship could take out, just by blowing up, could take out the Combine, seems weak when you first read it. And then you sort of, basically, long story short, Alex kills the character who would do it, which is very out of character for Alex. And then after doing that, you have to go ahead and destroy the ship, and Alex gets rescued, but you get... you see that basically what you're going to do is going to be absolutely useless, waste of time, it's not going to work. But you can't change anything, but you get rescued by the Vortiguns. And that's the end of the episode. I think that's a bit of people point, and that's what I disliked about the half-year. I thought, that's such a weak... It doesn't fit Alex's character. It doesn't really make sense the fact that you're forced... You are forced down that... The fact that you're forced down that route of, you've got to destroy it, and, it's a waste of time. It feels like right for an episode, but it doesn't feel like it's actually setting up for a finale series.
Sure.
The actual mechanic of fighting your way through the ship that sort of phasing out exists, I think sounds quite cool. So that bit sounded quite cool and quite neat. It's just the ending, I think, that would probably disappoint a lot of people.
I wonder if... See, because, as you say, it should have come out...
Well, Half-Life Episode 2 came out in 2007, so it's now 10 years since Episode 2. So the last Half-Life 2 game was 10 years ago. Which actually surprised me. I thought it'd been longer.
It did feel like a long-ass
But
time.
because it's Episode 2, that was 2007, but I think the original Half-Life 2 was like
It almost feels like this one was kind of like... Parts of it almost feel like it was written later than it probably should have been. Maybe people didn't like it that much because they've had too much time to dwell on where the story should maybe go.
Yeah. I think also,
we've had too much time to deeply dissect the character's personality.
I think the other trouble is, what the case of people is as well, is because we haven't known the plot for so long, and we knew what was going to happen. They're going to go see this ship, and that ship's going to have a Combine. Everybody could come up with their own ideas, their own sort of how it was going to work. And so when someone comes and says, actually, this is how it's going to happen, all those.
It's not what they wanted.
Yeah, all those. Well, it's not so much that, but it's all the people's plots they created, and because it's been so long, had effectively become canon, have now been wiped out. And I think that's what people thought. Oh, that's not what I was expecting to happen.
But again, though, it's never, ever,
No.
ever possibly going to live up to the hype.
No,
Ever.
it never would.
We're talking Half-Life 3 or even Episode
Valve-
3 would have been the
Valve,
second coming.
yeah.
to
Valve
PC games.
made a lot of mistakes. They should have pushed through and developed it and got it released 2 or 3 years later and finished it off. But by leaving it, I think that was partly deliberately left.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
thought to sort of create a bit of hype, and then it got out of hand. Also, I think Half-Life itself has become. I mean, it's become a bit of the joke in gaming terms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they announced Half-Life 3. It's become a joke.
Half-Life 3 basically took the place of Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
It was the development
But
hell.
the trouble with Duke Nukem Forever was that people knew it was being developed, whereas Half-3 there was nothing. So it's like a case of, oh yeah, Valve aren't delivering, it's just a joke. I mean, we've joked about it on podcasts before. We've made plenty of jokes about Half-Life 3 coming out. But with Duke Nukem Forever, it was a case of, I mean, how often they changed the engine about 4 times when they were developing that game, weren't they? It was a case of that was a proper Vaporware game. Because like, well, you keep releasing screenshots, but then nothing else happens. You keep releasing screenshots. Whereas Half-3, nothing was getting released. There was a few early screenshots that were released, not screenshots, but like sort of concept art, which match what he's written.
Yeah.
Which makes it seem plausible that what he's was the actual plot line.
Could I just ask the chat, so
Yes.
this doesn't benefit the audio at all, really, how many people in the chat, all none of you, actually played through and finished Half-Life 1 and 2, and how many of you actually enjoyed it?
Do I get a say in this?
Well, I already know that you're a Half-Life fanboy, so
I object to the term fanboy. I like Half-Life.
the fact that you felt that you had to bring this up,
I think it's interesting.
sure, but then...
I think it's interesting because it sort of finally put the sad. It's
But
not
by,
sad.
by the
it's
fact
quite
that you've
positive.
said that it's the sad ending means that you actually
I
felt
think-
something for the series.
Well,
Whereas I personally...
I have nostalgia for the series because I remember playing when I was younger.
Oh, I remember playing when I was
And-
younger, but I still thought it was shit. There you go. You said how you've crucified yourself many a time talking
Yeah.
about all those different Star Trek
Yeah.
spins. Half-Life is overrated. Tat.
Well, it's been nice knowing you.
Oh, I don't care. I will
so-
not only fucking stir, but boot the hornet's nest on that one.
Yeah.
The game is fucking shite. It wasn't particular. Like, it might have done some really cool things back in the day, but really, honestly, to look back now, that's a nostalgia trip.
Right, so me and Blue shift an opposing force, and I like Half-Life. Jet said I like Half-Life 2. Cool.
Fair enough.
I think, yeah, I mean, the main reason I want to bring it up, and it was simply because of the fact that it's. I think that it's sort of like it's been interesting how the internet community has reacted to. It's like, oh, this is actually it now. Whereas it was an interesting thing that, as I said, deep down, I think most of us knew that Half-Life was dead 5 years ago. Half-Life was dead 5 years ago. And then when he left last year, it's like, okay, this is pretty certain now. And now this is like sort of like, it's like it's gone through the denial stage now. It's okay, yeah, it's definitely not happened. That's what I think that's the interesting thing about it.
Sure, I just think that too many people have put too much stock.
Oh,
in,
yeah. Oh,
in
God,
Half-Life
yeah. Oh,
as a
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
To me and a lot of I talk to a lot of PC gamers. They talk about this thing like it cures cancer. And it really doesn't.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the trouble is that Half-Life has become a... What's the best way to describe this? It was a good game. I know you didn't like it, but...
Well, I can't really say that I didn't like it because I never finished it.
Yeah.
Just it never really said, "Come on, play more."
That's fair enough. Everybody's different. To me, it was a really good game. I loved it. Played it through numerous... I mean, it's one of the few games I've played through numerous times. And there aren't many games I've done that.
See, that's me and Paul.
Yeah. I've played Portal numerous times as well. So
of the two kind of big companies in that universe, I preferred
that's
Aperture.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. And because it was so popular, people were like, people started looking. I think what happened was it was like, yeah, Half-Life 3. We're looking forward to Half-Life 3. It went from it's going to be good. Can't wait for that to come out. Then it went to, well, when's it going to come out, guys? Come on, let us know. Then it got to the joke stage of, we'll announce Half-Life 3 at some point. And I think at that point most people realised that it's probably not going to come out. And then it got to the stage of, oh shit, it really isn't coming out.
Yeah, but come on.
And then to the shit of, oh my god, it really, really isn't coming out. That's sort of stage
people
process.
Should have just let it go years ago.
Yeah. I think the trouble was it became a victim of its own joke. Yeah. You know, it was started as it's one of those memes that's not died. Most memes die off.
Yeah, it should
and it hasn't died off.
Every time I see Half-Life 3 confirmed, I think to myself, really?
It's like how long did But Can It Run Crisis run on for?
It still goes on today.
Yeah, but it's not quite as bad. You don't see it said so often today, but it was for a long time. That was for years after Crisis came out. When someone was talk about any new hardware, but Can It Run Crisis? That was sort of an ongoing running joke for a long time. But that has, you don't see it petered out. Half-Life 3 basically was a victim of its the joke was a victim of its own success. It just carried on and on and on, and people kept bringing up ironically because the way it was is that it could theoretically run forever because Valve keep quiet about it. Valve are like most companies where it's like, oh, it's official, we're not planning to announce it. Valve just don't say anything.
Valve got too big to release that game. Would be suicide.
No, I agree. I think Half-Life 3 would have come out. It would still been a decent game.
They would have got so much backlash though.
Everybody would have hated it.
Yeah.
It would have been a decent game, and everyone
it could have been
it.
the greatest game in the world, but people would have still hated it.
It's a bit like the Invisible War effect. Okay, Invisible War, Deus Ex Invisible War, wasn't a great Deus Ex sequel, and it wasn't. As a game, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't like, we're not talking like up there, but because it was Deus Ex Invisible War, and because Deus Ex was such a good game, and people loved Deus Ex. Well, a lot of people loved Deus Ex, and it was so popular. It comes out, and actual fact, it isn't quite as good as Deus Ex. Well, it's nowhere near as good as Deus Ex, so that's true. But because it's got a Deus Ex same touch to it, it's instantly gone from it's an okay shooter to it's the worst game ever made because it's just got that backlash against it. So if Invisible War had come out and not been called Deus Ex Invisible War, people would probably said, it's half decent shooter, but it's not great.
Yeah.
But because of that Deus Ex attached to the front,
it got murdered.
Yeah. If someone released a game now that was basically set in a future, basically that plot line, but different characters, different things, people go, yeah, it's quite a decent game. It makes me think of Half-Life. But if you see put a Half in front of it, oh shit. Yeah. So Half-Life was a victim of its own success.
Yeah. So. It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. People are saying that they like playing the multiplayer of Half-Life 2. And Half-Life 2 multiplayer was actually really good multiplayer with the gravity gun in it. Can I throw rodeos at people?
Can I throw out there I kind of preferred all the mods that came from the Half-Life scene over Half-Life.
You can't deny Half-Life did have a big impact on the gaming of the time, had a big impact at the time. They said the mod scene alone was a massive impact.
Yeah, but I didn't. Let's put it this way: when I was given the opportunity to play Counter-Strike, I hated Steam.
Yeah.
So I didn't play it.
Well, Counter-Strike was pre-Steam, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't like the idea that I had to start installing Steam to play my games.
Yeah, but Counter-Strike was long before Steam. But I'm just saying,
when I was given the chance to, I didn't.
Oh yeah, but I hated Steam at first as well. When I first thought, oh god, I'd like to actually have a bit of stuff. I thought, what a crap idea.
But that was the same.
But
that was the same with Half-Life 2. To say that became the because if you say to people what was the best shooter of all time, a lot of people out there will say GoldenEye on the N64.
I think the trouble when you say what is the best XYZ of all time is that there are too many things that could. There's just too
they're
much competition
horrible.
for.
They're horrible opinion pieces.
Yeah,
Unless you're in full-blown camp PC or full-blown camp console,
Yeah.
you're going to have completely different things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do I think that Half-Life 2 really impacted, or Half-Life impacted gaming as much as most people? No. But then I don't play that many first-person story-driven shooters.
Yeah. I think perhaps from a PC point of view, I think it definitely was a big impact.
What was the peak of PC gaming for me? I hate to say it, folks, but it was Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament.
Yeah,
I didn't give a flying fuck about Half-Life or Counter-Strike. When it came to, I preferred Quake, Doom, Unreal Tournament, Quake 3 Arena, Half-Life and games released by Valve didn't even really clock to me until years later. And I very quickly decided I preferred Portal and Counter-Strike over...
I mean, I like Quake 2. Didn't really get into Quake. I couldn't really get into Quake 1. Quake 3 Arena wasn't my thing.
Yeah, see, I was an arena shooter. I was playing at a high level at that point.
Unreal Tournament I did like, but I liked the assault mode in it. I wasn't too keen on and I quite liked Capture the Flag. Wasn't too keen on the deathmatch mode.
See, we played a lot of deathmatch and used to give.
Yeah, I think what we're basically saying here is we've got different personalities and what we like and don't like, and
but that was the whole thing, though, isn't it? To really say that Half-Life 2 or Half-Life itself propped up. I've seen loads of people say it. Half-Life defined the industry. No, it didn't. It was fucking. It was a shooter.
It had a big impact on the industry, but it does. Nothing defines an industry. Nothing does. They're very foofy.
That's like saying that Pac-Man defined the arcade.
Yeah,
industry.
exactly. Nothing defines an industry, but there are certain things that have more impact than others. And denying that Half-Life doesn't have a big impact on the industry, I think is a bit of a false thing, because it did. The fact that it constantly gets referred to, and a lot of people are really keen on it, just says that, it doesn't matter what you want to say.
The trouble is, though, once you get sucked into a hype train, people who don't even play certain games, that's the greatest thing in the world, they've never even fucking played it.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people say, Final Fantasy is the greatest RPG series of all time. How many have you played? I played Final Fantasy 13, arguably the worst one in the series. Do you really have any sway? Or because 8 of your mates have said that Half-Life is the greatest game in the world, you agree? A lot of people I know will say that Half-Life's a good game without even having played it.
Yeah, that's silly. You can't say a game's good without playing it.
But a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. Look at a lot of the games journalists. They say that a game is good or bad from the first half hour they play from a demo disc. Just to be the first person to get the thing out there doesn't necessarily make it that great. And for me, like I say, as far as PC gaming is concerned, Half-Life didn't impact my PC gaming that much, if at all. So I don't really think it impacted my experience in PC gaming at all.
Everybody's different, aren't they? But I'm not saying you can't. I think the games like Unreal, Quake, Half-Life, definitely a Doom. They all had impacts on the PC. The fact that they're well known, the fact they're still talked about today, says something that they must have had an impact. Just because they want something.
I think Half-Life mostly became what it is because it's a fucking meme. The meme is more popular than the game.
Well, no, because the hype for Half-Life 2, come on, that was a lot of people really looking forward to that game, and it was constant. I mean, so many people were looking forward to that game. Just because that was something that you're interested in doesn't deny the fact that it had a meaningful impact. You can wear your hands all you want, but it doesn't change the fact it had a meaningful impact.
Yeah, but it does if you were into that scene.
Yeah, but a lot of people were.
So why should I give a shit? This is what I'm saying. Why are you talking to me?
I'm not saying you should give a shit. I'm saying that denying. I mean, there are games like you mentioned, Quake and Unreal. Quake for Arena, not my sort of thing.
No.
But I don't deny that had a big impact on PC gaming scene. Because it's just not my sort of thing. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, point more on cost, but playing on PC, fucking Call of Duty. I hate Call of Duty, but bloody hell, has that had an impact. You know, it's caused a whole generation of games to change how they play because of how popular it was. I don't like it.
My whole
But
thing
I'm not
is,
going to
though,
deny it.
I'm still trying to figure out why I should care, though.
You don't have to care. If you're not into it, you
that's
don't have to care.
That's what I'm trying to say to you. Why are we still talking about it like you're trying to convince me that it's
I'm not
important?
I'm not trying to convince you to say you
No,
have to care.
but that's what I'm saying. Stop talking about it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
That's what I've been trying to say for the last however long I've been ranting about it. Is that you can say it's impacted the industry all you like. I still don't give a shit about Half-Life.
that's fair
So
enough.
move on to the next thing.
Well, there's nothing to move on to. We're finished.
Thank God!
Yeah.
I will still throw out there, I don't like Half-Life. I don't like Half-Life. I don't like Half-Life 2. Who gives a shit that Half-Life 3 story was tat? And for all the people crying about it, let it go. I'm not going to start crying if they kill Final Fantasy off tomorrow.
No.
Or Neptunia, or Steins Gate, or fucking...
All I can hope is perhaps this will eventually stop the... When they're going to have Half-Life 3 meme.
That's what I want people to stop. Every time I saw that, it made me think, do you not have anything better
I think
to
this
do?
will be the... I think this is what the thing of it is. I think that's why it's almost like people are more in the depth of the meme than the actual...
But
depth
that
of the
was it.
game.
Look, I think more people were into the joke of the meme than they were even playing the game. I've heard people who haven't even played the games that kept on pushing that meme. It's like,
Yeah.
do you enjoy
That's
Half-Life?
how most, but that's you could say of most memes, aren't you? People who weren't into that's the whole meme is something that transcends from let's say the
Its
group
actual
interface.
original
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
that was the problem, that a lot of Half-Life's push wasn't Half-Life, it was the meme.
It's something that got out of control.
Yeah. It should have been left to die 10 years ago.
Well, it couldn't have died 10 years ago, so that was the last one was released. So,
But that's what I'm saying.
6 years
Let
ago.
it go. Fucking Half-Life 2, Episode 2 hits the shelves. 3 years later, there's no sign of us getting anything.
Yeah.
Same with Duke Nukem Forever. They should have just let it go.
Yeah.
It really should have just been, and then whatever we got after, stop going on about it. It was no big deal. If they then have a 10-year gap from Final Fantasy 15 to Final Fantasy 16, whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see more new IPs than people clinging to the old ones. Get like fucking Banjo-Kazooie. The new one was never going to be a thing. They made Ukulele. Do the same thing with Half-Life.
Well, no one's going to have with Half-Life now. Unless this is all unless this is all just a really cunning ploy by Valve
That'll be really funny.
to build the hype up again. It's like, oh, Half-Life's done. Then the next week, Half-Life 3's coming out in a month. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think that'd probably be at that point that I'd say fuck off Valve and then done. I don't like that kind of thing at all.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm like when it comes to cutting companies off.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I will cut a company or a person out like they were cancer for the smallest things.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Awful series.
Right. Well,
Just throw out just one last thing.
Yeah.
When people say about my aggro with Half-Life 2, right? It would be the same thing as if Splatoon 3 was going to be a thing. I don't care if they make another Splatoon. I really don't. I've had 2 games. I'm fine with that. If they don't make any more, whatever. Same with Half-Life. Alright? They made a couple. I don't get that invested in a game that I start selling blood and semen and start praying to the fucking devil to get more games. I'm not that tied into a series. Army of 2. I don't care if they make a 4th one. I didn't care if they made a 3rd one. I already had the game. Let it go.
let it go.
I would fucking seriously start cutting in scenes from Frozen throughout this entire discussion. People just... They're games. Once you finish them, put them back on the shelf or just delete them off your hard drive. move on to the next one.
Right, rant over?
Yes.
Good, awesome. I think it's time for us to close up because this has been a long one tonight.
Yep. And I've got
we
4 hours of Splatoon to play.
You've got 4 hours of Splatoon. For Splatoon, and you're going to be joining Team. Oh, that's the point. I didn't ask. Which one is your Pearl on?
She is Team Flight.
That's another reason why you don't want to
It was a tough one. I did joke in my Discord chat, oh well, fucking Pearl's Team Flight, I'll never pick that one. But I actually thought about it first and was like, I'd actually get bored of flying about more than I would going into places that I probably shouldn't. You know, I don't know, there's just the idea that, hang on, there's a bank vault, let's go. Or
that's alright until you get locked in because no one knows you're there.
Well, that's fair. The door's got to open eventually, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, flying about's all fine and well, but I've got Google Earth. I can see the outside.
I've got Google Earth and I've got a fan. I can recreate the whole experience at home.
I'm just gonna put on. I'm gonna go and buy myself an Oculus Rift. I'm gonna fucking go into VR fucking Google Earth, and I'll put on a fan. Job done. I'll occasionally have someone throw ice cubes at me and buckets of water at me. I'm good. But I'll never know what it's like to sneak into a multi-billion-dollar corporation without anyone even fucking realising it, unless I go sneaker style on it.
Yeah, that is very true.
Does Google have a fucking, I don't know, a strip club in the back? Who knows, other than staff at Google, but they're not going to tell you. Little do you know, Gabe hangs out at Google's offices and they've had Half-Life 3 for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
How's that even possible? I don't know. And in Google, that's the only game they can play. Because that does define the industry to them.
Dear.
In their world, Portal never existed. Quake was never a thing. In Google's world, PCs don't even exist.
Yeah. I still think visibility might be more of a hat. Well, plus you could have one of each and someone could fly you about.
Could you? I just had this. I don't know why, but I just had this random vision of I turn invisible and then randomly get catapulted across the room.
Yeah.
I've got half and half every time I go
all
invisible.
All these people flying about and planes for their bad bird strike.
That's one of the jokes.
Unfortunately, we seem to have ingested a superhero into the left-hand engine again.
I did joke about that though when I was talking about it. I was like, well, what do you mean you'd go team invisibility? I was like, jet engines. And they were like, oh, wow, yeah.
That's a good point. I haven't thought about this.
Well, what kind of people would you have, or who would you have to deal with XYZ 1,000 feet up? Jet engines. And they were like, oh my god, you're right. It's like, people, they're assholes and they're everywhere.
Do you realise that you can avoid the jet engines? You don't have to fly into
but what, mate, come on. Look at all these assholes on the road. You know there's going to be some dickhead.
The sky's a bit bigger. You've got a bit more space to play. You can go up and down.
Well, that depends how hard you are having, like, you got high.
I mean, I suppose if you're going really fast that high up, it's probably quite hard to see because your eyes are frozen. Yep. So it's like, where am I going?
The question is, do you hit the? So I can't remember how tough they say the shield, the wing, the
crowling,
whatever of the thing. Like how hard you have to hit the front before you go clean through the pilot's head. I just had this vision of you just kind of.
Jet airliner is designed to be able to take an impact at its maximum speed, which I think is about 400 miles an hour.
That's a damn sight faster than any fucking human's going to be doing if they can fly.
Yeah. So I would have thought, of course, a human's got a little more mass than a bird, so they're going to impact more energy. I'd have to do some calculations.
You better get on that.
I'll do a calculation. I'll work out how fast you would have to hit a plane to go straight through and take out a pilot.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing that a lot of people on this team thing, they're not thinking about. Like, can you breathe? What speed? How fast can you go before you can't breathe anymore? Because a lot of people look at flight like they're Superman.
If we're going to start picking holes in superpowers too much, then invisibility is not that much greater because quite a few.
There's shit tons. But when I talk to people who say, "Oh, I'm going team flight," they talk like they're Superman. Like, as soon as you get flight, you're instantly the Man of Steel. So, but Superman has more powers than just the power of flight.
Yeah.
Flight isn't really that interesting. I mean, invisibility means I just get to walk around nude all day. But hey,
Invisibility means you get locked in shops every night and have to sit there and wait for someone to come late in the morning.
That's fine.
But you don't have to coo so much.
Yeah. I just the whole reason I would pick invisibility, I don't have to deal with people.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that is it. I'm an antisocial asshole by definition. Invisibility is the one for me. I could always, fly 100, 200 feet above people all the time, but then, I don't know, bird's eye views kind of get boring after a while. So...
You don't have to look down all the time. I'll just freak people out by buzzing them.
Just pee on them all the time.
I would like to see how easy... I'll take out a big shit of MDF with me, just so I could try and get on a radar and really confuse them.
I can just imagine you circling an airbase. You start trying to trip people up. What the fuck is that? What is that? Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Oi! You can't complain with people for looking at me, and then you do the exact same thing. You have right. Tough. I'm sorry. You've now ruined it by confirming the mean yourself. You've just ruined it.
I had to, just as a troll.
No, Tough. Sorry, you've ruined it now.
Well, do you want me to kick your laptop through the floor?
You can try.
Well, it's not going to be that hard, mate. That's the flimsiest laptop in this room.
Well, it's true. It's a Dell, but you can try.
I'm surprised it hasn't gone nuclear yet.
It's alright, it's coping quite nicely. Windows 10 likes itself now. Windows hasn't decided to sort of break again.
Windows hasn't decided to actually do anything yet.
Yeah.
As soon as you take all the work from Windows and give it to a new setup, look at this. This isn't my setup.
Well, you're saying, look at this, for the audience, this is no good, is it really?
For the audio viewers, there is a mic stand here, which isn't one of mine, with a microphone on it, which isn't one of mine. Connected to a laptop, which isn't one of mine.
It's not connected to a laptop, is it?
Well, it's connected to a field recorder that's connected to a laptop that isn't one of mine.
Yeah.
And it's just not all my setup.
No.
We have handed off all audio processing to a completely separate device. It's amazing.
Yeah. The only reason, though, that we have this nice new mic...
You decided to do my old job and you were doing it for free.
was basically I was conned into filming something, and in agreeing to film something and realising I didn't have enough equipment, I had to buy it all.
You poor bastard.
Yeah.
And it ain't cheap, is it? Everyone thinks you can just walk into a gig with a handy cam.
Yeah, no.
There's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to know? No. Do you want to share with the audio viewers and the video listeners the drop you had to put on this recording?
Look, well, this bit wasn't, but it was the other stuff that went with it. I mean, I'm not going to say I spent the best part of £700 to basically record an event that I was asked to. Would you mind recording it? Yeah, I'll do it for you. And then got to the event and found out it was a lot more work than I anticipated. So I'd spent £700 of pounds on my equipment.
Games you could have bought on there.
Oh, don't, mate. I could have bought Half-Life 3 for that money.
You could have done the one pressing that's in Gabe's office. You could have just walked up and said, "Look, Gabe, you ain't going to give that to anyone. 700. And he's like, "Hang on a minute. You're the guys from Rad Nerds. He doesn't like this series. Take it, Ram." Take it and wave it in front of his face.
They've got pretty goats on your screen.
Yes. My screen also tells me that it's 1 minute past 1. Is it really?
Well, yeah.
Holy shit, it's late.
It is. I haven't had tea yet, so no. I was going to
always eat your microphone.
Not for the cost of £700 I spent on it.
This would better be the best quality podcast. We need to really start stepping up production if you're putting that much money into it.
Yeah, I may eventually, with the hopes likes of things like Patreon, might make it back in a few thousand years.
Well, yeah. I mean, how much have you earned from YouTube thus far? Pennies? Any? I actually think we've
nothing because we took it off our network.
Oh yeah, have we? Oh yeah, we did. Didn't we? I completely forgot.
Yeah, and I can't monetize anything on there apart from Ram Rants, which is only a very small percentage of the actual YouTube.
Oh yeah, because we're not very family friendly.
No.
Bastards.
So,
but do you reckon if I say I like Half-Life, we'll become advertiser friendly again?
Yes.
All right, I'll play. What's the remake of Half-Life 1? Black Mesa. I'll play that.
Yeah, it's fine.
I will. I've got that,
I've got that.
and I
as
did
well.
say I was going to play it. Have they finished it yet?
Oh, God knows. They're like,
I know they're up to the last segment. They're getting to the point of Half-Life 3.
Look, basically, got to bear in mind, people making Black Mesa have really sort of channeled the whole thing about Half-Life, including Valve's methodology of never actually releasing
Yes,
something.
never coming.
So they've basically.
Do you think they've all give up now that like Half-Life 3 isn't coming? They're like they've literally been crushed, and now they will never finish it.
What I would have really liked to have happened is they finally released the alpha of Black Mesa, at which point Valve released Half-Life 3 with Source Engine 3, and they go, I've got to make it all over again. Bugger.
Poor bastards.
Anyway, shall we end now? Because we seem to be. Seem to be going kind of.
Should we recommend that people try
Half-Life? Yes, definitely.
Should we say Half-Life or Black Mesa, and then
Half-Life, then Black Mesa, to compare one to the original.
Sure. Would you say if you can't stomach Half-Life, go Black Mesa, or?
I've not played Black Mesa, so I can't comment.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Shall we? How about this then? Shall we make a deal? Shall we both play Black Mesa for next podcast?
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like a plan.
Is that? Oh yeah, it's because Valve release, so that will be on Linux.
Yeah, it's yeah. Is there Valve release Black Mesa?
Oh no.
Oh, it's with their blessing.
Yeah. I think it is on Linux.
Oh, fine.
I think it is on Linux.
We'll check that.
If not, then I will boot into Windows.
There you go.
And suffer.
But that we'll both play agreement. We're going to shake on this.
All right.
Black Mesa, we'll both play it by next podcast.
Alright.
Won't have to say you complete it, but I want at least a couple of hours played.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
I'm cool with that. Well,
Awesome.
The bonus is the kids go back to school in 3 days.
Awesome. So 3 years' time, that gives you 11 days to play it.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, whoa! We've got soft focus then.
There you go. The world just
We
broke.
just entered porn mode.
The world couldn't handle it. Everything broke. Could you come up with some? Because you're saying that Half-Life is kind of really influenced. How did we get influences from Half-Life? Not right now, but for the next episode as we do the whole.
How many word essay do you want?
I would rather not have an essay because I don't really. Look. Just imagine I'm a top ranking businessman. I barely have time to read that front page. Okay, I want it cut down to a paragraph. I want the Bible of Half-Life. Fucking, I want that cut down to a paragraph.
If you're a top ranking businessman and you're clearly not, you don't really know what you're talking about because you only got one page, I would lie and say Half-Life is like the Farmville PC game from 1990s, which means you'll make lots of money if you put money into it.
Oh, that's a tough one. Don't give me an elevator pitch like that, because it means I might have to like it.
So, you see Farmville, how much money I made? Yeah, that's really well. We wish we could do that. Half-Life was like that. Oh, invest.
Isn't that how we always get sports games and fucking Call of Duty games? And why we keep getting so many Call of Duty rip-offs?
Yeah. Strange that, yeah.
Stop doing that.
I think that's the I got a sports game as part of my last home, but it's the only thing I've not bothered to redeem. Yeah, MBK 2017, I think, and I've not bothered to redeem that one.
That's the basketball one.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand basketball.
I've redeemed it for the sheer. I don't know.
But you're secretly an American, so you probably do know basketball.
It is true. Wait, but if I'm American, wait, no. What's the biggest fan base for Half-Life? America. Ah, well, wait, no, that can't be right then.
Look, you dress like a skater from 1980.
Yeah.
You say dude.
I haven't shaved since 1980.
You say dude all the time. You are basically American.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go then. So you would love MBK.
Sure. Do you know what series is that needs to have another game? MDK.
Yes, I agree. MDK.
I like that series.
MDK. Yep, I've got MDK 1 and MDK 2 on my Steam library.
I remember Packard Bell.
I had to install a mod to my computer to make it play MDK 2 because I had to install a mod I had to install a bit of software that pretended to be a Voodoo graphics card. So MDK could run.
God, that game's so old.
Because MDK won't run, but none of the floors would render. So I had no idea what the floor was.
Wow!
That was great until I had to cross a chasm.
That's in Steam and on GOG, isn't it?
Yes.
I think I have it on GOG.
I've got it on Steam.
I'm going to have a look now, so we're going to have to play MDK as well.
MDK, yeah, I got stuck. I've great for you. First I played, when I played MDK when I was like sort of 8 years old, I actually got quite far through it, all right.
The world's smallest nuke.
Yeah, and then I played it again like a couple of years ago, and I couldn't work out to get past the first level.
Oh, I have a question. Right, I'm going to give you a really horrible description.
Uh-oh.
Right, and I need to know what the game was. I think it's right at the start. You're an agent of some kind.
No one lives forever?
You get to choose being a marksman, a hacker, or something else, and you get to assign skill points to it.
You're feeling Deus Ex, aren't you?
No, because at one point I thought that's what I was thinking of, but the intro isn't literally a blue screen with boxes for character creation. I cannot remember what that game was.
So, your agent, you can assign things to hacking and...
This is right at the start. You have to pick a specialisation. And for the life of me,
System Shock.
Well, it might have been. I don't know. I can't remember anything of.
Because System Shock, you had like a combat path, a hacking path, and like sort of like a techno-magi path.
That might have actually been it.
A psychopath. That was it. You had a psychopath.
I'm gonna have to. I think I've got System Shock on my machine at the moment. I might have to look. If anyone can figure out what that was, let me know, and I can play that through with.
Thankfully, you narrowed it down to many thousands of games.
Exactly. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, give me a list of the top ones you can think of, and I will play them and try and see if I can figure out what it was. That and Animals of Fathomwood.
Do you know, I keep meaning to rewatch Animals of Fathomwood, but I fear that it'll ruin my childhood.
We keep saying that Animals, because we played Animals of Fathomwood, the game, years ago. And
there was a game?
Yeah, the first mission of the game is to find Badger, and me and Chalky were blissfully ignorant. We were like, Badger? Where the fuck is Badger? Who is Badger?
Set, presumably.
Alright, and if you don't find Badger fast enough, because I think it was a point-and-click game, they just literally, you see the forest get bulldozed and steamrolled, and they fucking force cement over it.
This is why I love that. The Animals Farming, as I've said many times before, it's basically Game of Thrones for children. It's really quite gruesome. So many cute animals die.
So what we ended up saying was, because Chalky then sent me a message the other day. He said, "Yeah, mate, look, I found Badger, because this has been our Half-Life. You know how PC games have Half-Life 3?
Yeah.
Me and Chalky have Badger.
Where's Badger?
And so he sent me a picture of the actual character Badger from Animals of Fathomwood in a text message or whatever. And I was like, look, I thought we'd already established that Animals of Fathomwood literally ends as the cement mixers pour on the fox and everyone dies. Badger is literally just our representation of nature that gets destroyed by humans every chance.
The fertility of rebellion.
There you go. So instantly it's how powerless nature truly is against the disease that is humanity. And yeah.
I still have burnt in my memories the moment the hedgehogs get run over by a car.
Same. They go across the dual carriageway,
and then you see them curl up, and you just see the car wheel spinning
because they can't get into the herring. No,
they're trying to cross over a road, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a dual carriageway.
That's quite early on. It's quite early on when they do that
before they get to the park.
Yeah.
No, it's not that far, is it? Because they say that they have to get to the park, and the park is literally across this main road.
No, not Right Deer Park is a lot further off than that.
Is it? I don't remember.
Right Deer Park. I mean, well, if all they do is cross a road, it'd be a very short.
No, there was a long old way there to go through the poison field, and
no, I'm pretty sure that was quite early on. The bit where they get run over. I'm sure it's quite early on.
I don't remember. I just know that they said that.
I'm going to rewatch Animals of Farthingwood. Just the purpose of finding out when it is and
when did those poor hedgehogs get mangled?
Reliving my traumatic childhood. You see,
what was the excuse of them not being able to be carried over?
They're prickly.
Only on the fucking top.
Look, if you're but the trouble is, you imagine you're a fox. You've only got a mouth to work with. You ain't got
that's why they
digits.
said that's why they said the bird couldn't carry it over because he couldn't.
Yeah, but if you think of the shape of a hedgehog, the only sort of like non-prickly part is underneath. You can't really get your mouth around that.
Climb up the arse of the badger.
Well, that poor badger. That's fine going in, but coming out.
What tough shit! Poor hedgehog's got mangled by some spaz.
If I was the badger, I'd say take your chances.
They did, and look what happened.
Not my problem. I'm not having you call up my arse.
Traumatized ram. That's what happened, man.
Yeah. See, this is why they don't make kids series like that. We need kids series where all the main characters die.
There's nothing real about it. There's like it's all dreams and rainbows and shit. Yeah. Back when we were kids, people died.
Animals representing people died.
It's like the characters that we loved all got murdered.
They did.
And even when they got to the happy ending place, things were shit.
Oh no, it gets worse. They get to White Deer Park. It starts off. Then they find there's a bloody pack of like wolves or something there. Mm-hmm. I mean,
racism.
And they start having like a gang war because I think doesn't the wolves at one point eat one of them or something?
Something like that. Like the animals of Fathomwood basically had a pact, not the predators wouldn't eat the other animals, but once they got to White Deer Park,
the wolves ate them.
Fuck you, mate. We're gonna eat them.
Yeah, I mean,
and then all the animals of Fathomwood were like, you can't do that. It's like, it's my nature to eat your mate, so shut the fuck up or I'll eat you too. It's like, alright. Although, what was it they had? Did Fathomwood have the blue squirrels?
Do you know what?
Or did they have the... Basically, animals of Fathomwood became childhood representation of racism. Like, there was the opposite of every species was at White Deer Park. So
I don't think it's quite that bad.
Well, near enough. Like, you had the wolves versus the fox. You had the blue squirrels versus the red squirrels. No one could seem to get along. They were trying to kill each other every 5 seconds. And you think to yourself, whose idea was it to go to White Deer Park to start with?
Oh, it was Fox's idea, wasn't it?
Was it Fox? Good on fucking
Fox or Badger? I think, doesn't Badger die shortly after they get to White Deer Park?
Probably. I keep telling you, mate, it's not real. It's not real. I never found him, mate. Never found.
They found him in the TV series. That's all I need to worry about.
Oh no, they're wrong. They're wrong.
Badger does exist.
No,
he does.
No,
he does. Just because you couldn't play a game, why did you should put a 5-year-old child in charge of the game? They would have found him in 2 minutes.
Me and Chalky have been joking that we have to do a let's play of that. Like we have to find that game, let's play it, but we have to fail.
I think Firefly is now ready for a Telltale reboot.
Oh man, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
Vixen will remember this.
Oh god. Well, no, I just whenever we that's just made me think of that doesn't work. The Discworld point and clicks.
Oh, someone pointed out that Warship Down is also Game of Thrones for kids. Yes, that is very true. Warship Down is horrific. It's not a children's film for starters.
Good times.
Yeah. I've never seen Warship Down all the way through. I've seen bits of it.
You traumatized?
No, I just never. Well, my sister couldn't watch it because she used to cry at the title music, Bright Eyes. But yeah, I remember
at the title music.
Well, the film title music. It's got.
I was gonna say the
Bright Eyes.
The tunes bring people to tears. That must be horrible.
Yeah, it's this. It's quite. That's quite a gruesome film. See, they don't make kids films like they were in my day. All kids films were horrific and people died left, right, and centre.
To me, kids films were Aliens and Beverly Hills Cop. Last Action Hero.
Yeah, but films ain't actually at kids. Like
you saying that they weren't?
They were aimed at immature adults.
Well, fuck, that was
that's why you like
5.
And skaters from America.
I'm clearly American, people. Clearly American. It's funny because people who live in this town seem to think that I'm some kind of Muslim. I'm from the Middle East. Yeah, but if I go anywhere else, they're like, "You're American or Australian?" It's like, neither.
Yeah.
If you want to follow the family far enough, Scottish.
That says all we need to know. That's why Iron Blue runs through your
veins, man. That's why I get so angry when people talk to me about Half-Life. I'm out of fucking Iron Brew.
Yeah. Shall we now end this podcast? Because you've only got 3 hours, 5 minutes of your Splatfest to play left.
Oh no, Splatfest keeps on going until 3 o'clock tomorrow, but I have to look after children tomorrow, so I want to get it done whilst the kids are
Right,
asleep.
okay. YouTube, find the mouths of Farthing Wood, settle them down, and leave and wait for the crying to start.
Badger! The fucking...
The hedgehogs have been run over.
No! It's like, yeah, welcome to my world many years ago. Many years
That's
ago.
life, kids.
Toady! That was it, the frog toad thing. That was the toad that told me to
Sure,
go to White Deer Park.
Yeah. Was it the toad you told me?
Yes, because I remember back in the day I used to be pretty good at drawing cartoons, and I had drawn I'd covered an entire wall in the Animals of Farthingwood.
I used to get the Animals of Farthingwood part work, the little magazine.
Oh, right.
They used to come with a poster every issue, and you had to, because in those days it had like they're all stapled, and I had to sit there with a knife and bend the staples up to get the posters out. And yeah,
Bless you. Trust him with a knife.
yeah, blunt knife.
Fucking hell, people don't even trust me with a spoon, mate.
Yeah.
Even today. Especially not my wife. She doesn't even trust me with power tools.
I don't trust your power tools.
There you
I
go.
quite agree with that. I think I remember last time we sat in your office out there, and you found a drill. And that was the most terrifying 5 minutes of my life.
That was amazing.
You have no drill bit in it, but you kept wanting to drill things with it. Yeah! No, it was an electric screwdriver. Not like 3.6 volt electric screwdriver you had.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was something like really shitty. I mean, God, if you ever find...
That was Inky's power drill.
It wasn't his power drill.
Yep.
No
No idea why the power drill was out there, though.
Drill things, presumably.
But why would it be there if she didn't
Perhaps
trust
she
me
was,
with it?
perhaps she's trying to. Perhaps she's hoping that you'll like sort of accidentally.
You know, trip and kill myself with it.
Yeah.
Or drill through a
Ooh,
power. Drill through a fucking
What
electric
happens if I
cable?
drill through my head?
I'm going to drill through this
I'll
electric
let the
cable.
demons out.
I'm going to drill through this CRT monitor.
What's the worst that can happen?
So everyone, start playing Animals of Farthingwood and watching Half-Life.
Yes, exactly that.
There you go.
Awesome.
And I'm expecting that essay, and it better not be, do you remember Farmville? Because no, I didn't. Until you mentioned it, I'd be able to strike that from memory.
I love giving people nightmares. What's more nightmarish, Farmville, Animals of Farthingwood?
Farmville.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Farmville is a Farmville, but that's why we had some good moments. Fox had his end away at one point. I remember that.
Sure. And there was that time. The hedgehogs died.
That wasn't a good moment. That was traumatic.
It was. I can't think of all the other characters that died. Most of them died, actually.
Didn't Kestrel get shot?
I have no idea.
I'm going to rewatch Animals of Farthingwood just to find out.
There you go. They're such a weird ragtag bunch.
It must be a complete series on Amazon or something.
Just like go to Amazon. Can I get the DVD collection? I want the Blu-ray HD remasters of Animals of Farthingwood with commentary.
Yeah, this collector's edition comes with a box of tissues.
Animals of Farthingwood edition tissues.
And the phone number for the Samaritans.
That's got to be a thing. We now need to make a mock-up of that if it doesn't actually exist. Can we do one for the Half-Life 3 pack? You know, it's just literally...
Stop playing with people's hearts.
It's nothingness and then a box of Kleenex. There you go. Cry yourselves to sleep.
Can we end this now? Because we've been trying to end this for the last half an hour.
Let it go, people.
Let it go. Let it go. Something.
The other lyrics.
This is where we need my friend's daughter, because she'd be able to recite the whole thing because she was young enough to get stuck into Frozen. That doesn't make sense. Get into Frozen.
Stuck into Frozen.
Stuck into Frozen. She got frozen into Frozen.
I was like, what the fuck did you do? In you go.
I have no idea. It was one of those ones that I saw it being broadcast in adverts. Like there's an advert of all these people singing the theme tune. I'm thinking, where's that from? I've never heard that before. And you know, they finished. I saw 10 of my family said, "Do you know where that song came from?" Because I was singing. I've seen a lot of adverts and I've heard it a lot. And they were, no, we don't know either. And then about a month later, I found out it was from Frozen.
I don't understand how that film became a thing. To be honest,
I honestly don't know.
marketing to little girls, I suppose.
Well, that's usually how things become major, isn't it? You just market to little girls. They are the best. They are the best market because when they get obsessed with something, boy, do they get obsessed with something.
Like PC gamers, then, really.
Yeah.
PC gamers and little girls.
Yep.
Oh, bless. It turns out that most of the top esports players are little girls, like age.
If you go to Korea, they probably are.
Yeah. I keep on joking about the Rocket League, playing Rocket League with my mates, and every time we lose, it's because we're going up against the Korean schoolgirls Rocket League team.
Yeah.
Right, moving
Oh,
on.
and there was a Rocket League just for as a mini flashback there for
This
you.
is a random note. There is also a Splatoon tournament coming up.
Are you entering?
UK based Splatoon tournament.
Useless.
I
What
know.
kind of man are you?
I know. I don't
You
want to go there.
might, if it's UK based one, you might win, I don't know, like a baseball cap or something.
I might get crushed by a fucking team of 8-year-olds.
Yeah, you never know.
Bless them.
What you need to do is...
I couldn't, because what if I
this is
table
what-
flip?
This is what you do is, as you're starting your game, you say you can like get things displayed in the things. Just start showing us pictures of the animals of 5 wood getting killed off.
Yeah, there you go.
It's perfectly fine from a kids program.
All the kids are like, no! No, but the trouble is, though, we're
Yeah,
talking
but do you know hedgehogs died? They got rolled up. They got killed by a roller.
We were mate. We were talking about we're talking about modern children. Modern children think about.
Do you know
gunning
we
people
heard that
down in
before?
the
I
streets.
thought we said modding children.
Yeah, we're gonna mod some children. Augment them motherfuckers.
Yeah. My child's got no clip installed.
Dead. It's like, oh, we shouldn't have gone through there.
I should not have installed InstaGib. Should not have installed Instagib.
Instant fail there, people. Everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere. No clip cheats. Bad in some games. Very, very bad. You think you can go that way. For some reason you can't, though. Because you're dead. Then in some games you can just click clean through and fly away. Do that in Duke Nukem.
I swear I played a game once. There was a sort of no clip mode. It wasn't like a proper no clip mode, but it had gravity. The gravity was like an infinite points like below the game level. So if you activated it, you just went straight through the floor and just disappeared. You just kept going forever and ever and ever because you got sucked this infinite point of gravity. I think Unity does that by default. I think Unity
rocks.
I think Unity, if you don't put the physics up right and give something gravity, they just fall forever. It's the point where it buffer overflows and you disappear and it can't work out your coordinates anymore.
On Unity because it's quite broken on Linux apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh look! We're porn mode again.
Yeah, porn mode! Right, we will see you in 2 weeks' time after beating Half-Life 3.
And Black Mesa.
Yep.
And we've watched Animals Farthing Wood.
If I don't turn up in the next episode, it's probably because I've killed myself. I've been watching Animals
or
Farthing
Badger. And we really are stuck in porn mode right now.
We look like, Flashback.
Wait! Oh, there we go, back in. Oh, yeah. Go on camera, you can figure it out. Flashback.
Yeah, do you remember Flashback in Another World? The Amiga games where the characters just look like fucking... look it up.
I will do.
Flashback, Quest
Wait,
for
so when you
Identity.
said-
That's what we just look
When
like.
you said flashback, I was thinking the section flashback that we have in our podcast.
Thunder Tits.
Oh my god, that is a flashback. Mm-hmm. I think we've mentioned that word since like episode 15.
It's bad, huh?
God, that was our first catchphrase.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Do you reckon Rand Nerds will become Half-Life 3? Do you think we'll become a meme at some point? But people will be wanting us to go away, not.
I hope so. Perhaps, we could arrange it.
Yeah.
I think that could be
We'll
done.
probably be gunned down in the streets or ran over as we try and cross a main road.
Yeah. Well, I keep telling you not to carry yourself into a ball in front of a car. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I'm scared.
Do you not remember that public information film they released back in the early 90s?
Animals are far than wood. Out across a road, not to walk around in a field.
Don't
watch
get
out,
shot.
humans are dangerous.
Humans are bastards.
That's it. That's what the subtitle is for Animals are far than wood. What's that small print? Humans
are
are bastards. Fucking hell. There you go.
Right, let's end.
Right, that's it. So we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
See you all in a fortnight.
Yeah.
We might have Middlemeister well,
He hasn't played Black Mesa, so no, you won't.
well, he can be forced to watch Animals of Farthing Wood repeat for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Whilst I'm suffering with Black Mesa.
He sat there, of course, like, they killed the hedgehogs. They killed the hedgehogs. They killed the
You
kestrel.
bastard, I have
Badger died.
I have horrible memories now of those hedgehogs. Goodbye, hedgehogs.
Goodbye, hedgehogs. Da, 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 da. Stop.